At wind chill, it feels like minus 16.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Sask Lotteries, bringing communities together. Sask Lottery products fund over 12,000 sports, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome to the Tuesday edition of the Sports Cage for Saskatchewan Lotteries. Like he said, the main fundraiser for sport, culture, and recreation in our fine province. 3 hours for you today. If you've been following social media, you know it's a busy show. What we have, Don Hewitt's going to be with me co-hosting, as he has been on a number of Tuesdays. I know a lot of you like having the former CTV sports director with me. We're going to start the show, though, with Craig Reynolds, President and CEO of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. That's going to go hopefully till around the bottom of the hour. We're going to talk sprinkle of the day. Going to talk about how I got abused last night in that Monday night football game. Arash Madani's coming in hour two. Clutch performer. Coulson's got a good one. How about we talk a little World Junior Hockey Championships with the general manager of that team and former GM of our Regina Pats, Al Millar. He'll join us at 4:40. PumpJacks Cathedral Trivia. We're playing for $100 today. It's going to be Rider game related. That's the only hint for the first hour I'm giving you. Glen Suitor in hour three. And we'll touch on some local hockey as well. But we only have him for a while. So Don Hewitt, the professor, is here, like I said. Don, how's the week been? You went to Minneapolis.
I wanted to tell Craig about that little trip and then go from there if I could.
Craig Reynolds.
Could I start that?
Craig Reynolds is here. He's in the studio. Let's fly. Let's keep it loose.
Yeah. So it's interesting because it just happened. So once every couple of years, our family goes down to Minnesota to watch the Vikings. I'm a Vikings fan. And because my son was a Washington Commander fan, we went on Sunday. So I'm leaving the Vikings game. And I'm saying to my other son, I'm saying, I'm not as thrilled this time for the first time ever to see the Vikings, and I think it's because the Roughriders won the Grey Cup. And he said to me, well, yeah, the Roughriders represent where we are from, and that's the difference. And it hit me. That was totally correct. And the way I felt after the Roughriders won the Grey Cup a month ago, I know I could never have even a semblance of the joy I felt with any other sports team. So I guess where I'm going with this is, first thing I notice when I get home is, the American government's going to go after Canadian fertilizer, which means Saskatchewan potash. I'm going, oh my Lord. I thought about it and I thought I was feeling bad just to go down there for 2 days, the U.S. for 2 days, but I promised my son. And so what I was going to ask you, Craig, is, I'd love to keep talking about the Grey Cup. I still will. But anyway, have you seen, either with the Roughriders or throughout the league, have you seen fans starting to rethink supporting the CFL because it's all the franchises are in Canada, it's the Canadian Football League, and what's going on with the United States? Have you seen any movements towards let's support Canada with the CFL and the Roughriders?
Yeah, I think we did. I think that was probably this season. I think we saw a fair bit of that. Like, I think if you sort of even saw the CFL sort of marketing angle, there was a bit of sort of subtle Canadiana there, certainly with their TV spots. So I think we kind of lean into that a fair bit. And honestly, I think we saw that with the support we got this year, right? I think people were maybe choosing to spend their money locally and at home. And so I think that certainly helped us, and it probably was like that across the league, I would guess.
Okay, schedule release today.
Yeah,
let's dive into this. I love the fertilizer story, though, Don.
I wasn't sure where Don was going. I'm not sure I have enough fertilizer knowledge.
I wasn't sure where I was going either.
Kate, you've been on here before, and you talked about how you have data and research, and you talk to fans from all over the province on what they prefer, what sells, basically. Schedule's released today. What do you like about it? Where's the sweet spot for you?
Yeah, I think a couple things. So, obviously, having 10 regular season home games is pretty unique and special, and obviously we knew that was coming. But to make that official today, obviously one being the away game against the Argos, where we're the home team. So that's pretty special, right there. Preseason game in Saskatoon. I've been super pumped about that since we announced that. We've wanted to do that for a long time. Hosting an Argo game here allowed us to do that. Yeah. I know the city of Saskatoon's very excited every time I'm up there. They're talking about that. That's
1991. I was there.
It was a long. Were you? Oh, wow.
Mullet and all.
Yeah, I probably begged my parents to go, but I didn't get that opportunity.
Foam Lake, you're busy.
Yeah, we're busy in Foam Lake. Well, it's seating time. So I think that's special as well. I think with the schedule, as long as there's a good balance, I think that's what works best for us. So Saturday would be our preferred for sure. So, and we've heard that consistently from fans. That tends to work best for out-of-town fans, which, I tend to look at the schedule from an out-of-town perspective first because Foam Lake, right?
Yep.
Like, I remember making that trip, and so many of our fans travel so far to get to our game. So I look at the out-of-town perspective. We have 5 Saturdays, a couple of them early afternoons as well. So you're getting home in good time. Even the 5 o'clock starts, that's good. And it's good for families, and that's been really our focus, is trying to get families out to the ballpark, and I think we've done a lot of things over the last couple of years to do that. So that helps there. Then you sprinkle in a couple Friday night, night games. Those are special too. There's an atmosphere at Friday night games in Saskatchewan, and so you've got that. Even the smoke game going back to this year, that was a very unfortunate weather related game, but the atmosphere there prior to that was absolutely electric, and that was a Friday night game. So Friday night games in Saskatchewan are pretty special as well. So you've got a couple of those. So it's a good overall balance, especially when you consider the World Cup impacts. Like, I was expecting it to be more challenging than it was, and I give credit to the CFL schedule maker to manage it the way that he did, because you've got 2 venues that are really offline most of the summer.
How much does the football ops team play into it as questions? And I'm sure you guys go back and forth a bit. And then how much is it dictated by TSN?
Yeah, a little bit of everything, right? So TSN certainly has a say. They'll prefer certain times and days and
rightly so.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. They're trying to drive TV ratings as are we. For us, there's that balance. There's the football perspective on the schedule, and there's the fan perspective on the schedule. And you like this schedule where it lined up where they both are in pretty good shape. But we would get versions of the schedule where the football guys loved it, right? In terms of marginal day prep and things that they look at. But from a fan perspective, it's not good. And then vice versa, we get some that from a fan perspective, you're like, wow, this is perfect. And you look at the football perspective, and we got 3 5-day turnarounds, and we're playing three games off, or teams coming off a bye, like things that are just not good to allow you to win football games. So you have to balance it. You got to really weigh those things, because it's very important, as to set yourself up for success, to have a schedule that helps you win football games.
Now, it seems like the league is very slowly going to maybe warmer weather for their seasons. I mean, you still got the Grey Cup on the 15th this year in Calgary, which is still a week historically ahead of before, and you had a really nice weather day in Winnipeg for sure when you won the Grey Cup. Next year, you're even a week earlier, I believe, when you host the Grey Cup here, Craig, in Saskatchewan. Is that where you generally are going? Because, I mean, I talk to older people, of course, because of my own age, but I have so many people tell me, you know what, I just can't go to that game, it's too cold.
Yeah, no, and that's what we're finding. Certainly, post-COVID, it's there's challenges getting people to come out to games, when you've got potential weather challenges, that just makes that much more difficult. So yeah, we've always been supportive as an organization about shifting the season up a little bit, and I get it. There's conflicts on the other side too, but from a weather perspective, you don't have to shift the season much to really avoid that potential. I'll call it scary weather, where it's minus 20 out and it's almost dangerous, right? So you look at the Grey Cup. It's going to be November 7th, 27, pardon me, And like November 7th can be quite nice, and your odds of it being dramatically cold are not good. And then you think about backing that up, the playoff games, they're in late October, and as we saw this year, like it's a couple times in late October, it's beautiful out, and so you don't have that weather issue,
and you don't have a home game in November this year.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
The schedule,
yeah.
Sorry, Barney.
You can follow the pattern of golf courses. I find in the last few years, right, they're staying open longer.
Yep.
Like the weather change, and
right.
it happens with football as well. High school, junior. It seems the one thing that jumped out at me right away when I looked at it, because I'm always like, when are they playing in Montreal?
Yeah.
Maybe I can go to the game in Montreal. Back-to-back games. At the end of the season.
Yeah, that was interesting when we saw that, and this version of the schedule was actually completed just prior to the Grey Cup, so we didn't know at the time that we were going to be playing Montreal in the Grey Cup and then have that back to back. But yeah, and the first I believe the first stretch of that is in Montreal for Thanksgiving, and they get a really good crowd. That's a big deal, the Thanksgiving Monday game in Montreal, so it's gonna be cool to be part of that.
Okay, let's I want to get to, you talked a bit about ticket prices and people coming and to the game. Uptick since the Grey Cup. Have you guys seen that? And with the schedule being released pre-Christmas, makes a lot of sense there too.
Yeah, we were really happy with the schedule getting out as early as it did. Like I remember last year it dragged a little bit, and that's tough. That's tough when you're making decisions around going to games or buying flex packs or whatever the case may be. So getting out prior to Christmas this early is really good. People can look at the schedule, start to plan their summers. We're really excited. We're excited about the 10 regular season games. Just from a value perspective, we think there's huge value there for season ticket members. And to answer your question, Barney, we've seen a really nice uptick. Nice. So we had a good year last year with new season tickets, and we're over double of what we sold at this point compared to last year.
Wow.
So that's really positive. So great response there. And then renewals are really strong too, which is all, also,
I would hope so. Come on,
very important. Also very important.
Unless you move from here, you better be buying.
Yeah. So no, it's been awesome. Our fans have been, the response just to the Grey Cup win in general, the merch has just been outstanding.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, about the response, I wanted to ask you one story. Now, you were good enough to bring the Grey Cup up to Tom Shepard's room, the former president.
Yeah.
And that was a great gesture of yourself. You brought Jeremy O'Day and Mark Millar, and Tom was thrilled. And
yeah, he was.
What he told me, and he said, well, it was so tremendous, so great, but it took him 40 minutes to leave Wascana Rehab when they left my room because so many people are excited and thrilled about it. Tell me about that experience and what happened there.
That was a great experience. First of all, to get it to Tom, and we tried to surprise him with the Grey Cup, and he was having none of it. My phone was blowing up. Are you bringing the cup? Are you bringing the cup? The nurses need to know because they got to wear green. And so anyway, it was funny. So we surprised him with the cup, and I surprised him that Mark and Jeremy were coming with us. But nice. To see the response whenever you go anywhere with a cup, especially that early on, is just incredible. And he's not exaggerating. It took us about 40 minutes to leave there, and we were in no rush because people were just in awe of that thing. And it probably had 100 pictures, and I'm not even exaggerating, probably 100 pictures taken, and people wanted to hold it, people wanted to, look at it. And it just meant a ton for us to see the patients do that, and then the staff too, like the response from both patients and staff. So that was special. We were able to right away the first week, so the Friday right after we won the Grey Cup, we snuck up to Saskatoon and took her to the Children's Hospital. Same thing. See the kids who were battling some tough health situations, just their response to the cup, and then again the staffing and the nurses and the people, the healthcare workers. It's amazing to see people light up when that thing enters the room. My
brother-in-law is the pulmonary pediatrician. So a picture with you and him. He was all excited. He's probably like one of the kids. He would have been one of the most exciting.
And it was we walked up the elevator one in the NICU, and like the screaming and yelling, like it was just like Sunday night before. Amazing. With like the elation from the cup being there. It was really cool.
Yeah, and so many of them. Especially Wascana Rehab, they don't get out a lot.
Yeah.
And for you to bring the Grey Cup to them, there's probably no words they could use.
No, it was one guy, he grabbed me and he said, I'm going to remember this moment the rest of my life. And I just thought, man, that's the impact that this cup has on people and this team has on people.
The flex packs, and you said, everything's looking up. I know being 48 years old, I don't know if I've ever told you my theory on rider games with people in my demographic. It's like more than ever, people have cabins and boats. We're in the same demo, right? Like you
and
look
kid commitments.
Yeah, and you look back to the early 2000s. Well, you look at some of these lakes, north, south, wherever, though it weren't developed. So those are all our people, right? Where now if it's, we got to get out there, we got to get on the lake, we got to get on the boat and all that. So the flex packs, when I talk to people, it makes a lot of sense because they can't commit, but they still want to go.
Yeah, and you still get it at a reduced rate.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. You can just take 5 people to 2 games or 2 people to 5 games, right? Like it just really works out well there. And I think that's part of, when you look at this sort of post-COVID, I think COVID changed a lot of things. And exactly that, going to your cabin, going to the lake, like people couldn't travel the way they used to, so they bought boats and they bought cabins sometimes. And so I think there is a little bit of that. It's harder and harder to get, convince people to get the games, and I think flex packs are just one of the ways where they can kind of commit on their terms.
And that partnership with co-op, for
co-op,
$20, like it's joking aside, people are saying, well, you can't even go to some junior hockey games.
No, it's so good, and we sort of soft launched that last year, and then this year we're gonna make a big splash around it because it's just such good value. Like $20 all in, that's taxes included. You can get to a CFL game and watch now we can say the defending Grey Cup champions play football
in a swank stadium.
In the best stadium.
A lot of people haven't been in that stadium. Like it is just fact, and they're
awesome.
like, well, we get to go to the stadium. That's worth $20 right there.
Yeah.
I was going to say, and I've said this a few times on my little Tuesday get-togethers with Barney here, that the genesis of the 2025 Grey Cup Championships was really at the end of the 23 season when you decided you needed a head coaching change, but you had belief in the general manager in Jeremy O'Day. And of course, you gave him a 3-year contract because you were going to match that with the head coach. You turned out to be right. And a lot of people didn't think you were at that time, Craig, as you well know. How gratifying. I mean, I know you don't feel this is about you or anything. You worry about your organization as the leader of the organization, but how gratifying in different ways was it that this turned out that after you made that decision, you went to the Western Final, then you won the Grey Cup?
Yeah, well, first, I'm just so happy for Jeremy. I really am to have him hoist that Grey Cup and have us to have that team success. So I certainly look at from the team perspective and just going back to that, I just you have to take. In sports can be very emotional, and you have to take emotion out of the equation and try to look at what's the best course of action for the franchise, like you said, for the team. And that's something that I know Jeremy looks at that when he's making any decision, what's best for the team, and I certainly want to do that and try to do that in everything that every decision that comes across my desk as well. And I just really believe that Jeremy was an outstanding general manager in our league, has respect across the league, and I had every belief that he was going to find us an outstanding head coach, and did he ever?
Did he? He did.
It'd be awesome though to have like a Canadian version of a Netflix series to follow him around throughout the year. The phone calls, the late at night, got to find an old lineman, got to do this. Like there'd be so much to that job when you break it down, where everybody, and it, like you said to yourself, right? You're in a position that you're going to get criticized. It doesn't matter how it is. But I would love to actually see how he works things, the phones in this league to make things happen. I kind of want to ask you on the heels of this about the staff cap. Do you think that will eventually move? We see Huffnagel and Barker going to Toronto. We like for new blood, for young people to get coaching and helping in the CFL. You got to be able to make a living though as well. Do you think that'll change soon?
Yeah, I don't. I think as a league, we'll look at that every year. I just speak from our team. It's never impacted our ability to do any. What we want to do. We added a coach this last year, young Josh Donnelly from the
He's
Rams.
good luck.
He's outstanding luck and a great young coach, and was really a big help to our OC Mark Millar. And so we're able to do those. We were able to extend Jeremy and Corey, retain our coaching staff from last year. So it really hasn't impacted us. We just look at it as a budget, and every business has a budget, and that's just one of the areas we budget.
The good news is the players want to stay here if they can, and the coaches and your assistant general manager also. I'm sure Hamilton wanted him, but he loved, working here. And Jeremy O'Day, I know when you were thinking about this 2 years ago, I mean, he's such a team builder, isn't he? He builds a team and he empowers everybody around him.
Yeah, he's just an outstanding leader, and he puts the team first in everything he does. He knows what a successful team looks like because he's been on, this is, I think, his 4th Grey Cup championship, as a player or as an executive. Right. So he knows what it takes to win in this league, and he knows what makes a successful team, and he knows about the people around him as well. And you mentioned Kyle and Paul Jones, Larry Dean was a great add to our organization. But yeah, I've just been so excited about the level of commitment that we're seeing from folks and what Jeremy and Corey are building here. And you see it from Kyle and Jeremy and Corey themselves. Right?
Yeah, I don't think anybody else has 4 out of the 5 Grey Cup rings.
So one was with Toronto. He won one in Toronto his first year in the league as a player.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he won 07, 13, and then 25. Yeah. But he's one of very few with 3. Yeah, that from our team. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you maybe give us a look, or can you say anything about are the Governors committed to keeping same number of Canadians on the roster past the CBA? Do you know anything there?
Yeah, no, that's encoded in the CBA, and that's not something that's an active conversation.
Perfect.
The Canadian content is key to the league, and we're wildly supportive of it, obviously, and I think
good.
It's good, and obviously I think the teams that are successful have depth at the Canadians and have strength at the Canadian positions, and I think that's one thing. If we're giving Jeremy and team and Kyle and Paul and the entire team credit on it, it's their drafting of Canadians. You look at the Canadian talent on our team and the depth of it, and our depth was tested this year, especially at the receiver position, and we had a lot of Canadian depth this year.
And congratulations to Jeremy today for re-signing Jamarcus Hardwick. He was the best blocker in the CFL according to PFF, grade of 84.4, number 1. It was interesting because before the Grey Cup game, when I saw him sign today, I won't say his name, but there was a certain Russian for Montreal who said, for the Grey Cup game, I am going to seek and destroy. He seeked, but he got destroyed because Trevor Harris wasn't even touched, so it's a great signing.
Yeah, he's speaking of guys who are great team leaders and culture builders, like Jamarcus Hardwick. He is outstanding. And it was interesting, after the West Final, obviously the way that game ended, pure elation. But I remember going to the locker room and really just so excited. And it was interesting to see, Trevor sort of broke the team down, but he passed it right away to Jamarcus. And Jamarcus's message, I won't repeat it, but it was clear around, we've got unfinished business. This is, and it was interesting to sort of see somebody who, had been there, done that, and just the leadership he brought to that team and will continue to bring to the team. So he was a big piece just from a leadership perspective on top of what he does on the field.
I was glad he was smoking a cigar. I was worried that the guys had forgotten to smoke cigars when they won the Grey Cup, but he had a nice big fat stogie in his mouth.
The ski goggles threw me for a loop. I thought that's a baseball.
They give you those. Thing. I didn't know that. I actually asked that afterwards. Where did you get all the ski goggles? Were New York gives you those, and I'm like, well, that's
we need
cool.
one for the shelf. Colson, we got to maybe eBay now or something, find one if that's even still a thing. The turf. I want to ask you about the turf at Mosaic. It's kind of coming probably up to its life. I know everyone's talking about 2027 when things have to be moved. Have there been discussions with the league on, okay, well, maybe there's a cost share here at this point? Have you guys talked about that? And are we going to be probably seeing new turf anyway in the next couple of years?
Yeah, early conversations with the city. Obviously it's a city-owned facility. But you're right. 2027 with the Grey Cup coming as well. You want to make sure your turf is of the highest quality. So I think there's that makes some sense. It'll be 10 years on from when the stadium was built, and so when you look at best practice, that's probably when you're looking at replacing your turf. So I think the timing is going to work out well for the Grey Cup and the potential rule changes coming in 2027.
Yeah, because I had understood it was going in 28, and all you have to really, if I'm wrong, I don't know, maybe you could tell me, but the city was going to put it in 28. All you have to do is move it up 1 year.
Yeah, no, I think the conversations we had with them were they had always targeted 2027. That was the 10-year on. Yeah,
okay.
that was our. Again, these conversations are a couple years old, so things might have changed, but yeah, no, certainly 2027. And I think hosting the Grey Cup probably cements that as a year you might want to do that.
Right.
let's go back to the preseason game in Saskatoon. Like, where does that stand? I know we've seen it with the Huskies, and they've hosted a Vanier Cup up there and all that. How many people are you expecting? Do you think you'll get into Griffith Stadium and just everything around it up to this point as we sit here in December?
Yeah, I'm super excited about that. The Huskies have been great partners up there. And Discover Saskatoon have been a big help. The city has been really supportive up there. The university and just in general was super supportive of us hosting that game up there. So really excited to work with the Huskies. We went up there in October, went to their homecoming game to just watch their game day in action, and they put on an outstanding game day. Yeah. So there's a lot we can take from what they do. We, obviously Riderize it. There's some things we'll want to do slightly different or expand on that they already do very, very successfully. So it's got great space though in terms of standing room only space, and you can fit a lot of people in there. So we're certainly planning to be over 10,000 there. We will try to push the envelope to see how many people we can get in there, because there's lots of excitement up in that market. And it's our last game. It's a second preseason game, and we have that first week bye. You can imagine our starters will get some time in that game. So really looking forward to be up there for that.
Yeah.
Okay, this question is from Dave Thomas, the outstanding play-by-play announcer for the Roughriders. He asks you this: what was your favorite moment of the season?
Well, aside from the Grey Cup,
that's from Dave.
Yeah. So obviously the Grey Cup. I wish I could relive that Sunday, other than the fourth quarter, sort of the stress of the fourth quarter. But I wish I could relive that Grey Cup Sunday over and over again. Just seeing the guys celebrate the way they, and accomplish that goal, and like you said, it's so special here in Saskatchewan. We've only had 4, so I'd want to relive that. Labor Day was pretty special. Labor Day is always special when you get that win. But other than the Grey Cup, that West Final, that last clutch drive, needing to score a touchdown to send yourself to a Grey Cup, and Tommy Neal's catch, and the roar of the crowd, that's the thing I'll never forget.
In Winnipeg.
No, here at the Western Final. Like the roar of the crowd when Tommy Neal made that catch.
Yes.
It's just something that I'll never forget. And the whole drive, just how nervous I was, and I know the entire province was, and then just to see them accomplish that, and just the clutch catch by Tommy, and just the roar of the crowd, all that moment was special. I'll never forget that moment for the rest of my life.
Rob Vanstone would know this best, but that drive was right up there with the drive in '89.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
To win the Cup. That is a historical rider drive of all time.
Yeah, it is. It's and Rob and I were talking about this today. It's kind of going to likely be the signature moment in the new stadium, right? Because when you look at that new stadium, lots of cool moments. Brett Lauther's maybe walk-off field goal where he runs to Pill Country, those types of things at Labor Day. But we've never had a moment like that in a massive game like that to send you to the Grey Cup. So that's a signature moment that'll be remembered forever.
I think it's like that last minute 30 or that last 2 minutes, like from what the defense holding. Rourke on the draw, like from there, like you said, the roar in the crowd is something that not a lot. I know we got to get you going. You got to move on.
Can't he stay another 2 hours?
Yeah, I just want to get to the gear as I wear that. The last time we won a Grey Cup, there was merch out there and all that. But what Mark does and his team and everything there, it's just another level now. Like, it's clear as day when you walk into the Rider team store, and people from out of town, they'll tell me that. They'll be like, I had no idea. It's as NFL as you're gonna get for a team store. Numbers wise, can you forecast what that's going to look like gear now with that championship in tow?
It's been nuts. So I'll give you a little fact. On the Monday after the Grey Cup, so we went on the 16th, so it's Monday the 17th. We were selling a championship hat either in store here or at Saskatoon or online. One hat every 12 seconds. So that's what we were moving the Monday afterwards, and it really hasn't slowed down.
My.
Like, I was in there on Sunday picking up a couple things for Christmas, and I couldn't believe it. I was there shortly after opening. It was just packed. So it's one of those situations, and we saw this when we launched the Obsidian. They'd literally be taking stuff out of the boxes. Fans would be grabbing it. The same thing are happening right now with some champ merchandise, where they're literally trying to unpack, and fans are just literally grabbing it and heading to the till.
Right,
so it's been outstanding. And we actually thought the Obsidian line might slow down this year because it was launched last year. Hasn't been the case. Like, it's just continued to go guns a-blazing. And so, yeah, we're already ahead of last year's merchandise sales, which were the strongest we've had since our centennial, I think. So it's been outstanding.
Do you ever wake up in the morning now at all, Craig, and you wake up, you're just waking up, you're just getting conscious, and ask yourself, did we really win the Grey Cup?
It's funny. I have that all the time. Like I had that the Monday after the Grey Cup. Even though I was in Winnipeg, I woke up. I'm like, did that just happen? Was the confetti like? Was that just a great dream? And I've had several of that. Especially the first week, you wake up and you're like, did this really happen? Like, did we really win the Grey Cup? Like, is the Grey Cup here in Saskatchewan? Like, it's just, yeah, it's their pinch me moments and their special moments. I'm just so happy for our fans that they get this after 12 years.
I love the pedal down attitude by the players too. Like, you're going to win it. Yeah, celebrate.
Yeah,
go.
Yeah,
do whatever.
And they took the approach, and Corey, and Jeremy talked to them. You can party for 1 week at the Grey Cup, or you can party for the whole off season. And they took option B.
Yeah, smart. Okay, last one, because you got to get going. When are you taking it to Foam Lake? Has it been to Willie's Tavern yet?
It was at Willie's. By the way, it was at Willie's in 2014 after the 2013 there. Okay. I actually saved it from. I was there with Tyron Brackridge and Taj Smith, and I was like, I better take this because I don't think it's going to end well here at Willie's. So. So yeah, no, we haven't set the date, but for sure we're going to take it to Foam Lake. I'm going to talk to Corey because Corey at one time said he wants to go visit Foam Lake, and I'm like, there's no better time to go to Foam Lake than as the Grey Cup champion head coach.
Maybe a big senior hockey rivalry night too. To
Flyers,
take it all.
Maybe we'll hit a Flyers game over there.
Craig, thanks so much for coming in and doing this. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys a lot. Thank you so much.
Let's go to break here. It's the Sports Cage, streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.
Listen weekdays at noon for Saskatchewan Today on CKRM with your host, Ryan Young, offering the most extensive agricultural news coverage with precision weather meteorologists in an industry that moves fast. Stay updated with the latest, most reliable information in ag news, crisis and trends, all in one place. Available anytime at SaskAgToday.com. Saskatchewan Today, your trusted source for all things agriculture. Sponsored by Affinity Credit Union on 620 CKRM.
SaskToday.ca is your local news source, proudly serving communities all across Saskatchewan. Sask Today's team of local journalists are on the ground focusing on local topics that matter to you. From agriculture, local community news, sports, and more. Find it all at SaskToday.ca. Sign up for our daily news digest at SaskToday.ca. From Harvard Media, everywhere.
And the puck's dropped on your financial future. Are you skating toward retirement? Don't get caught offside when it comes to your work pension, farm succession, or changing family needs. Chad Reach, Senior Wealth Advisor, and the team at GP Financial Services and Aviso Wealth are your local independent advisors helping Saskatchewan families plan for retirement and beyond. 306-584-2755, gpfinancial.ca. Mutual funds and other securities are offered through Aviso Wealth, a division of Aviso Financial Inc.
Ready to raise your shower game? Rent a water heater and water softener together from Reliance Heath and turn every shower into a spa-worthy experience. Right now, when you rent a new water heater and water softener together, you'll get $400 back, sent by check after installation. Why settle for meh when you can upgrade your whole home's water and get big cashback savings? Don't miss out on this limited time offer.
Call on Reliance.
Call on Reliance Heath today.
Saskatchewan, it's time to talk sports. Sportscage is on the air. Be part of the show. Call 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. And we're always online at sportscage.com. 620 CKRM.
Welcome back to the Sports Cage on this Tuesday. It's for Saskatchewan Lotteries, the main fundraiser for sport, culture, and recreation in our great province of Saskatchewan. Got excited there, not going to lie.
Well, it's funny how we talked about this earlier. When you win a Grey Cup in Saskatchewan, you are basically immortalized. We can still remember the people involved in 66 for the Rider historians. We can remember people involved at every Grey Cup that this team has won. 5 of them. And there's the first one, Thank you, Colson. 1966, when George Reed rumbled up the gut, and he knew on this particular play, you knew that Saskatchewan was, in fact, going to win the Grey Cup when Reed scored that touchdown. And, it's like everybody will remember Jim Hobson. I think he went to 4 Grey Cups, won 2, I believe, Jim. Mm-hmm. And everybody will remember him. The first thing you'll think about when you remember Jim Hobson, he should have won 3, of course, because of 2009, but the thing you remember about him is he won 2 Grey Cups in Saskatchewan. And you're immortalized in this province for pretty much ever.
Couple things that stand out there. The hat every 12 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, wow. We are going to rerun that in hour 3 as well, that interview. And then just how the uptick in ticket sales and what they've been doing.
Well, I mean, you become a believer because the Grey Cup championship is forever. It's done. They won the Grey Cup. And you become a believer that some of the doubters and some of the doubting ends because you realize, well, the particular individuals involved with this football team, from management or all the way down, if there's such a thing as all the way down, but all the coaches, all the players, everybody involved, the equipment people, the people looking after the players physically and their physical concerns, everybody. You just get a good feeling, but the fans believe because they did it. It's done, but they want to do it again. There's Keon Schaefer-Baker with a cigar, which is great to see. I think everybody should be smoking a cigar. Don't you think, Barney, in the Grey Cup celebration?
I'm not a cigar guy at all.
But if you won the Grey Cup, you'd be puffing.
Yeah, I wouldn't obviously inhale because I didn't get sick on it. But I haven't matured enough to enjoy a cigar.
It's just everybody's still excited, and you made a good point about Christmas presents for under the tree for fans because they've got the schedule out already, which is really helps in that regard.
Thank the Gourd that they released it today. Like last year was such a debacle and it was such a bad look and all that. Okay, 936-6262, Prairieland Rentals text line, Prairieland Rentals, 600 Albert Street. You get to deal with the owner, whatever you need for that project. If you need to rent in the official Husqvarna snow thrower dealer because more snow coming. Let us know what you think about the schedule today, or schedule, however you want to call it. But like I said when Craig was here, jumps out at me the back-to-backs against Montreal late in the season. I'm like, yeah. First week bye, I'm like, hey, I don't mind that. I'm really excited for the die-hard fans in Saskatoon to have that game. And people are going to roll their eyes and whatever. But there are so many die-hard Rider fans that when I think it's great. I remember in '91, I was grade 8 going into grade 9. Yep. We biked over to Gordie Howe Bowl, snuck in because the city of Saskatoon, they always lift a little gap in a couple of fence posts where you could squeeze in, although I was kind of pudgy. Got in, and we watched that game. We watched the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and Saskatchewan Roughriders 1991, and you felt like you were just, oh wow, this is something else here in this little field that we sneak into and run on all the time. The Riders are playing on it, so it's going to be a big deal. And what the Huskies do for their game day,
tremendous.
And what like that, it's going to be top notch. It's going to be great. And what jumps out at you, but at the schedule?
Well, it's interesting because like the first week, Saskatchewan's not the only team with a bye. There's actually 3 teams with byes, and it's the same. The second week, week 2 of the schedule, there's again 3 teams with byes. So I think it's the CFL acknowledging, okay, it's a bit early
World
June. Well, I don't know. It's I know they tried to schedule against it. They didn't know when Canada was playing when they were scheduling the CFL schedule. But it's interesting that they know it's a little early, and they gave 3 teams byes in the first 2 weeks, and they didn't go to 8 teams playing until week 3. So they're aware it's early, but I think they're on the right course of moving the Grey Cup game up. I mean, it was warmer in Winnipeg for the Grey Cup game than it was here in Regina for the Western Final. Regina was a little bit below what we'd had before and after that game in temperature, but I think the schedule is good. Saskatchewan's got, of course, the first bye, and then they've got week 7. They've got a bye, and then week 16 they have a bye. That's September 19th, 18th, and 19th, week 16. So they have that other bye, then they go to the end. But, again, the Riders' last game of the season is Edmonton at Saskatchewan on Saturday, October 24th. So October 24th is not winter time yet. So they've got no cold weather games, Saskatchewan, and I think that's really cool. And when you look at a business point of view, like Craig Reynolds looks at it from, guess what, Barney? Surprise, surprise, you sell more beer in warm weather games.
Yeah,
for profit. I'm sure you've never had one in a warm weather game.
Figure that. Huh. Just when it gets to the bottom of the can when you don't drink it fast enough. That's my problem. Clay on the Prairieland Rentals text line says he strongly feels that the season opener should be Saskatchewan versus Montreal. I know there's a lot of people out there that think it should be a rematch. The NFL does it when they can as well. Not all the time. The NFL, remember correctly, they'll put an absolute banger on to kick off the season.
That's interesting. They back-to-back with Montreal, October 12th and October 17th. So maybe a few weeks later they're in the Grey Cup game again.
I like the opener against BC because if we are the measuring stick now, which we are, and BC everyone's talking about, and before you lose your mind, Elks and Stamps fans, let's call a spade a spade. BC probably going in. I don't think Sports Select has their futures out yet for CFL, but BC is going to be going into the season as the second-ranked team in the West. So let's get it. Let's throw down early on, June 13th. It sucks for me because it's Lobstick Week up in Waskesiu. But I like that.
And so lots of signings to go. You never know how all of the signings go for all the teams, but right now, you're right. As we see it right now, BC is the top on-field rival of the Roughriders, with Winnipeg being the overall top rival.
The third time, the Riders will match up against BC weeks 2, 12, and 17, and Edmonton 8, 9, 21. So 3 times this season against those teams.
And Cody Fajardo just signing today with the Elks.
How about if we're going to talk signings? Jamarcus Hardrick.
Huge.
Back.
Just mammoth.
A lot of people last week, text messages flying. Everyone thought that was going to be the next big signing after Harris. We knew it was coming quick. So now should we have a poll? A little sprinkle. When's AJ Ouellette?
Well, you bring up an interesting point, because I think it's fair to say that receivers, running backs, and whatnot, they will be very happy that Trevor Harris is signed and is coming back next year. If you have a guy, say, like Emelis, they're very close. They have a chemistry on the field and a chemistry off the field. And so Trevor Harris being confirmed that he's coming back next season is going to help. It's going to ripple through, hopefully, to the benefit of the Roughriders when Jeremy O'Day talks contract with the players.
Ron and Deb.
Ron and Deb, they are the greatest Rider fans from Calgary.
They said, well, they're up there. Actually, 3 back-to-backs this season, Edmonton, Winnipeg, and Montreal. So he's just correcting me. But yeah, the Montreal ones are the one that jumps out at me, because it's like, I think that would be spread out. I don't know if I've ever seen that. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. Ron and Deb can. The back-to-back against Montreal like that. Because I always and Craig mentioned it, I guess it's supposed to be the big deal on Thanksgiving Monday in Montreal. So how many people out there looking at airfare right now? I might be tonight, or the next time I have a few cocktails, and sit there and go, that sounds like a good road trip.
Click, click.
Going to Montreal for Thanksgiving Monday to watch the Riders in Montreal. The Calgary games are always special just because there are so many people in Calgary from Saskatchewan, Edmonton as well. Saskatchewan's there early. That's June 20th. And that's it for the trips to Calgary.
And you
obviously.
have to study this very carefully, Barney, very carefully indeed, because you're a bettor. How did your weekend bets go?
Can we take a break? And then, since you had to ruin the hour that we've been buzzing with here, we'll come back. We'll talk some betting. But yeah, big news out of Rider Camp today. You also said Albert Awachi?
Yep.
Awachi's back? Double A's?
Oh, that just happened just now?
Dropped at 3 o'clock. Awachi is back for his 9th season as a rider, 14 in the CFL.
Yeah.
Very unheralded player.
He's grindy.
Yep. He's a good player, a great special teams player, a good blocker.
Does he live here? He must in the like this 9 years. If
I
not,
don't
does he
know.
rent out
He's
his
from
pad?
East. But I saw that Tommy Stevens, signed, he's staying in Regina over the winter. And
Gonna have Tommy on the show tomorrow.
outstanding.
Tommy's coming on. Okay,
Outstanding.
We'll take a break, and then I'll tell you how I got abused this weekend. It's a Sports Cage, streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. Don't just hang a door, install a Steelcraft. Turn curb appeal into curb envy.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Steel-craft.ca. SaskToday.ca is your local news source, proudly serving communities all across Saskatchewan. Sask Today's team of local journalists are on the ground focusing on local topics that matter to you. From agriculture, local community news, sports, and more. Find it all at sasktoday.ca. Sign up for our daily news digest at sasktoday.ca. From Harvard Media, everywhere.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262 for Prairie Land Rentals. Renting heaters, skid steers, and most power tools for all those winter jobs. And your official Husqvarna snow thrower dealer. Prairie Land Rentals, 600 Albert Street, where you deal with the owner. If it's happening in sports in Saskatchewan, we've got it covered on Sports Cage. Be part of the show. Call 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. On your radio at 620 CKRM and online at sportscage.com.
All right, you said we have a listener on YouTube today you want to give a shout out to?
Yes, I told Tom Shepard, who of course was at Western Rehab and getting stronger every day. I told him that Craig Reynolds, the president and CEO of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, was on today, but he said, I only have a iPad, I don't have a radio. I said, well, then just stream it. Stream Sports Cage on YouTube on your iPad. Tom is, not super strong in computers. They weren't around for many years. Tom was going, but a nurse helped him, and he listened to it, and he thought the show was great.
Tommy
thought
said
the
that,
show
eh?
was great. Tom Shepard, former president of the Rough Riders, thought
dude.
that
There
the
he
show
is. There's the
and
fella.
the segment with Craig Reynolds was tremendous.
Thanks, Tommy.
And now he's finally listening today on YouTube, and there's no excuse that he doesn't now listen to the show 5 days a week. No excuse at all.
I smell live show from Saskatchewan Rehab.
Yeah?
Let's get Tommy on if we can make that.
You'd get one question in, and that'd be it.
That's
for a half-hour segment.
Tom, right on. After a long Thursday night, then let's do that. Let's do that show there. No, I appreciate that. That's,
back to your bets now, Barney. How did you do in this weekend?
Okay. You look across the board, okay? No, honestly, I got to write a little article now for sportscage.com every week.
Right.
So I wrote it. But if you look at the schedule before Sunday, and there's going to be guys at 936-6262, fire away. I'm a big boy. I can take it. But you look at the games. You tell me that the Colts-Jags, that's not going to be a 3-point game. Daniel Jones blows his Achilles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well,
was just standing there. Down he goes. It's an Achilles. When
I think the game that you were at, Washington and Vikings, I think Sports Select had the line at like -1 or -2. Going to be a close game.
Yeah,
then
for sure.
Steelers Ravens, going to be a close game, probably 3 points. Saints Buccaneers, Another one, going to be a close game. Dolphins,
That was a
Jets,
shocker.
automatic, going to be a close game. Bears, Packers, going to be a 3-point game. There's all these ties staring me right in the face. I'm sitting there going, how am I going to pick? So
It was a tough one. It was a tough weekend for a lot of logic going on.
I go 4 games, and I go a 2-game combo ticket. So then any variation of the 2 games fall in, and of course I might hit them all. I'm going to hit standard play here in case all 4 come in, and then we roll. So the 4 I went with as ties, 3-point games.
Yeah.
Colts, Jags, didn't win that. Vikings, Commanders, well, I got a better chance of seeing Elvis. That was 31-0, 3-point game, not even close. Then I went Dolphins, Jets. Dolphins blow them out. And I'm like, okay, well, I got to hit the Bears, Packers in a tight 3-point game at Lambeau Field. Nope. Packers win by 7. So I go 0-4. So then what do? Last night, online, I had 1 ticket, Sportslex, because you can go, let's go sprinkle of the day right now so people can see. If it has a little S, you can play it single game. So then, money line all day last night on the Eagles. Nope. Then online I go first half Eagles. Nope. Then I chase, which you never should chase. I play responsible, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not betting farms here.
I bet $1 a time.
Yeah, I just
Sometimes
it's just for
2.
fun, right? Entertainment. So then I go second half. Well, the Eagles aren't going to lose this game. They're going to come back. So then I went. So I really technically went 0-for-7 on my bets.
And in every case, it's sort of understandable. In every single case of those,
Like
7
hindsight?
bets, in hindsight, because there was
can't do that,
there were
man.
some nutty things going on in the NFL that were like a couple of shockers.
It always
Like
this
Ravens.
time,
Look at the Ravens.
this
My
time
goodness.
of the year, my buddy and I are still rolling in a massive survivor pool. You never know at this time of the year. Like you can't count out anybody. Okay, sprinkle of the day for our friends at Sports Select. I love the generating code thing. Now that I figured out I can do it with combo tickets, I do it. Have a coffee, sit on my couch, do it. Get the QR code. Go to Sherwood Co-op. Boop, scan, grab a coffee there because I love their coffee. But tonight,
it's good coffee at the Co-op.
really good. Tonight,
Not bad.
let's look at the Canadian teams. Dallas Stars, Winnipeg Jets. See, it has the little S there, so you can play it as a singleton. The Jets are in trouble without Hellebuck. So the Jets are paying $260 to win at home. Is this the night they turn it around? Is it? I like that. I'd go and try. Hey, and I just said I went 0-for-7 on the weekend. So Winnipeg, and I'm going to parlay it. Buffalo played last night in Calgary. They had the trip up to beautiful Edmonton, Alberta. I'm going to go Edmonton money line or money pro line as well. So Winnipeg, Edmonton, they pay $4.16 together on odds. There you go. Generate a code, get it done. Sports Select, you can make them all online. Go to your Lotto Spot retailer. They scan it, print it out, or you can fill out the form if you want there. Every bet is 100% legal. Chance of winning cash in hand. Sports Select, when you're ready to bet on the original. Must be 18 plus to play. Okay, quick break. We'll come right back. It's a Sports Cage on 620 CKRM.
Get ready to cheer on some serious young talent. It's the Play 92 Art Auction with McBid's Auctioneers and McMotor Sales. 2 local school classes are going head-to-head in a friendly art showdown, all to raise funds for Creative Kids Saskatchewan, the charity that helps kids access life-changing creative experiences in theater, art, dance, heritage, and music. Their artwork is proudly displayed at the Connexus Art Center's Winter Wonderland, and you can bid on your favorites at mcbids.ca. All proceeds support creative kids. Harvard Media is proud to support. All items will be sold December 29th.
When you play Sports Select, you're part of more than the game. You're backing over 12,000 sport, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan funded through Sask Lotteries. So go ahead, make your picks at sportselect.com, generate your QR code, and lock in your bet at your local Lotto Spot retailer. Every play is 100% legal, and every ticket supports your community. Sports Select. When you're ready to play, bet on the original. Must be 18 plus. Please play responsibly.
It's home reno season, and with that Regina wind chill, you're better off renovating than relocating. Stay productive with a little help from Freeze Tallman. From drywall and molding to installation and interior doors, they've got everything you need to renovate your space. Freeze Tallman's delivery team can also deliver right to your home if you live in Regina, Fort Capel, or anywhere in southern Saskatchewan. Freeze Tallman's got you covered this reno season. Visit freezetallman.com or see them in Regina or Fort Capel. Freeze Tallman. Let's get you building.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. Bundle and save with Reliance Heath. Rent a new water heater and softener together and get $400 cash back. Call on Reliance Heath today.
CFL schedules released today. If you missed it, some of the highlights: Riders have a week 1 bye, then they're going to host BC in week 2, raise a banner. 4 Saturday home games, 2 Friday, and 1 Thursday. Signings from the team: they have inked offensive lineman Jamarcus Hardrick, 1-year contract. Also, he's back, Albert Awachi. Montreal Alouettes signed starting quarterback Davis Alexander to a 1-year contract extension through the 2028 season. He was already rocking until 2027, so they upped him there. Some hockey tonight in the area. Moose Jaw hosting the Saskatoon Blades, 7 p.m. SJ Estevans in Yorkton, Melfort's in La Ronge. Canada West dropped its second game at the World Junior A Challenge, falling 4-3 in a shootout to Sask East last night. Off today, they play the USA to finish the round robin tomorrow. SJ Kids and Trevor Blevins coaching that team there. Male U18 AAA, Notre Dame hosting Moose Jaw tonight, 7:30. Female AAA, Regina Rebels at the Weyburn Gold Wings, 7 p.m. Hour 2 is going to start with Arash Madani, who wants to talk CFL, but also interesting on Canada's Athlete of the Year. And Al Millar, General Manager of the World Junior Hockey Team, will join us. It is the Sports Cage, streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.
Proudly broadcasting from Treaty 4 territory, the homeland of the Dakota, Nakota, Lakota, Saulteaux, and on the homeland of the Métis Nation. We are 620 CKRM Regina, a Harvard media station.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM news. After some freezing rain earlier today, roads in and around southern Saskatchewan are still dicey depending on where you are. Some highway around Estevan remains closed due to the ice, and there's travel not recommended on a few other highways in the southeastern area of the province. Check the highway hotline before heading out today. Accused killer Chris Fallman appeared by video in Weyburn Provincial Court today as his case moves toward a possible preliminary inquiry. Fallman faces charges of second-degree murder and reckless firearm use in the death of Tanya Myers, a Weyburn woman shot in September. Defense lawyer Sharon Fox says she wants dates set soon so the case avoids long delays. Judge David Chow ordered both sides to discuss timelines before Fallman's next court appearance on December 18th. Saskatchewan Auditor Tara Clement says Regina's $6.8 million subsidy to Costco might have been avoided if better communication happened between the city and the global transportation hub. Clement says the Crown Agency did not work with the city when Costco looked at building in the industrial park, which has its own tax base. Costco nearly chose that cheaper land after talks with the city. Council later approved the subsidy to keep the store in Regina. Clement raised the issue in her latest report, which was released today. The federal government has introduced legislation to strengthen criminal laws against gender-based violence and create new offenses targeting coercive control and the non-consensual distribution of AI-generated deepfakes.
Today, with the tabling of the Protecting Victims Act, we have an opportunity to better protect kids who are at risk of exploitation and to address very real concerns about violence against women, including violence that could be fatal. Multiple speakers share the statistic about a woman being killed in this country every other day. This is a statistic that should shock the conscience of every Canadian.
The Protecting Victims Act would treat murders driven by control, hate, sexual violence, or exploitation as first degree. It would define these murders as femicide when the victim is a woman. Elections Alberta has approved a citizen-led petition to bar coal mining from the eastern slopes of the Rocky Mountains. Alberta musician Corp Lund has been a vocal opposition to the practice, arguing it's dangerous to the province's water supply from the mountains. He says he gets flack for vocalizing his opinion as a musician and that he should just stick to singing.
I drink that water. I drink the water of the Old Man River, which is right directly down from the proposed grassy mountain site, and my animals drink the water. My mother drinks the water. So I'm not a guy flying in from LA on a private jet. I'm a sixth-generation rural Albertan, and I'm just trying to get the water clean.
Once Elections Alberta gives the green light to start collecting signatures, Lund will have 4 months to gather nearly 178,000 of them. U.S. President Donald Trump says Ukraine must be willing to make concessions, including territory. He told Politico Ukraine must accept the reality it faces a much bigger, stronger foe in Russia. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has reaffirmed his strong refusal to cede any territory. He is continuing his push to rally more European support for his country. That was your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
Brought to you by Line X Regina, Serious Protection Killer Lux, 1865 McCarra Street. Tonight, mainly cloudy with the low down to minus 19. Wind's going to diminish, but still west-northwest 15, gusting to 30. Tomorrow looks like partly sunny, a few flurries in the afternoon, and a high of minus 11. Tomorrow night, light snow will end in the area and rising to a temperature of minus 7. Thursday, mainly cloudy, light snow showers later in the day, falling to minus 15. Friday, partly sunny but cold, down to minus 25. Saturday, mostly sunny but chilly again, a high of minus 23. Currently in downtown Regina, cloudy skies, fog in the area. It's minus 6, but with that wind chill, it feels like minus 16.
For 40 years, the team from Line X Regina has been protecting vehicles across Saskatchewan, and we're changing with the times. 3 generations of our family have protected your vehicles. Our business has evolved, and we're not stopping now. The next generation is here. Same family, same commitment, ready for the next generation of truck beds, rocker panels, trailers, bumpers, and running boards in all kinds of colors. Line X Regina, 1865 McCarra Street, the next generation of protective coatings.
SaskToday.ca is your local news source, proudly serving communities all across Saskatchewan. Sask Today's team of local journalists are on the ground focusing on local topics that matter to you. From agriculture, local community news, sports, and more. Find it all at SaskToday.ca. Sign up for our daily news digest at SaskToday.ca. From Harvard Media, everywhere.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Sask Lotteries, bringing communities together. Sask Lottery products fund over 12,000 sports, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back. Sports Cage, Hour 2. PumpJacks Cathedral Trivia coming up today.
You always beat me on these. Always.
This one, you guarantee will know the answer to this one today, because I've already mentioned it on the show a couple of times.
Don't jinx me.
936-6262. When we give you the cue, you're going to call in and a chance to win. I was at PumpJacks on Friday. Had a few pints, some of the Kerwin crispy ribs. I should take you there.
Pretty good.
One day. Yeah. Very good. We've been talking about the CFL schedule release, which came down today. I think everybody is happy. It's early. I would consider December 9th early. It's great.
Oh, it's early.
Riders got to...
Well, it should be the way it should be like this every year. But again, another bonus point for the new commissioner that I like, Stuart Johnston.
Holiday season, Spend 2 holiday Mondays watching the green and white this year as well. Rider games falling on Victoria Day at Calgary and Thanksgiving Monday at Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
2 nice road trips if you want to get after it. May 18th, that is a preseason game. And then, of course, the first week they have a bye. And then you had a stat, Colson, that there's a 4-banger? Something, there's 4 games or something?
Yeah, let me look that back up.
CFL, 4 games in a day.
Yeah, a quadruple header.
Quad.
Yep.
Yeah, so...
It's like hockey night in Canada, hockey day in Canada type thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got one September 12th. So that would be the Labor Day rematch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, September 12th, the four-banger. How about that?
Who else?
That's cool.
What are the other games that day?
So it's
obviously one in Vancouver.
Ottawa is in Toronto. Then we're in Winnipeg, Calgary in Edmonton, and then Montreal in BC.
Well, and you got to go. Vancouver kickoff 9 p.m.
10 p.m. Eastern. So
that'll be
that's where Barney. You have to get a XXL Western Pizza for 4 games straight. You'll have to find out how you can
Full
get an XXL.
You get Spiro making flapjacks in the morning as well.
But yeah, that's the first quadruple header since '95 for the CFL.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't around then, so I wouldn't remember.
Yeah, it's okay because those are good times to live. The more that this world is going upside down and things are pissing everybody off and technology and everything, 70s, 80s, 90s, good time to be alive. We lived through the goods. A four-banger
is a highlight day of the year.
Isn't it?
Well, you just sit there on the couch for how many hours? 12 hours. 12 hours with only moving to the washroom.
That's aggressive. It's nice for gambling, though. It's nice. It's September 12th. Is that the day?
Yep.
Yeah,
Saturday, September 12th.
That game's on CTV as well. They had the television schedule released. The Riders are on there twice. I know a lot of people are always up in arms when they're not on there. But yeah, all in all, I like it. I think the other stat that I heard, which was interesting, features just 4 weeks with fewer than 7 days rest between games, with additional bye weeks in 7 and 16. I the one thing I'm kind of like, first week bye. I'm like, I could go without that, but you can't have it all. Who said you can't have it all? Who sang that country song?
No, I mean, I think overall, Craig Reynolds, who's on the show to start off, seemed pleased with the schedule. And people forget there's 8 other teams that want different things too. But there's one thing you always have to do in a four-banger, Barney. Halfway through it, you know what you have to do? About halfway through a four-banger, maybe three-quarters of the way.
Shower?
Close. You have to loosen your belt.
Yeah.
Because you're getting a little...
Greek salad.
Too full.
Maybe a Greek salad. Or, you know what I want to look here? And I'm really curious on this. Let's look up the Montreal Alouettes schedule quickly, because I'm always... I feel like Montreal always has so many Thursday games. So...
Yeah, different days are different things for different teams.
Yeah, like Craig said when he was on, we'll play it again in hour 3. Saturdays at 5 p.m. is that kind of sweet spot. They've done the data, the research. Maybe it's not right for you out there, but they've pulled people, and that's what they like. So week 1, Montreal's at Hamilton, so that's not. Then they play a Friday home game. They play a Sunday home game, a Saturday home. So Montreal didn't get the Thursdays like I usually expect. There's one, August 20th. And Saturday, the Monday against the Riders. So only one Thursday. Okay, well then my theory's out the window.
And by the way, they're finally doing some repairs to the turf at McGill Stadium.
I read that story.
It looked bad on television. I can't imagine how bad it was in real life. But yeah, a lot of players felt it was out and out dangerous playing on that field.
Do you know? I love talking pop culture. I love talking music on the show. It's just how it is. And I know a lot of you out there, because when we have a poll, you guys are all jumping on it too. I love it. 1980 music. Why this day lives in infamy.
John Lennon?
Yeah. Where were you? Do you remember? I was 3.
Okay, weirdly enough, I think I was in New York City.
No.
At the same time, but obviously not where he was shot. I was in New York City in 1980, the same time he got shot.
On December 9th.
Yes, I was. It was weird. Very fluky.
I didn't really get it until you get older, and I really got into the Beatles. And you start how big of a deal that was for so many people. Yeah. That Yoko Ono stretch with him, don't sugarcoat it. That was weird. Everything, but you go back and to when they came over here, and I have this DVD. I watch it once a year at the lake, and it just goes through their first U.S. visit. And just, it is insane.
And what's really crazy is Taylor Swift, if you look at the numbers and what she sells in music, she's beaten the Beatles.
So yeah,
Taylor Swift
so
is
now
ahead of the Beatles.
2 text messages saying it's December 8th. Well, my Google says December 9th. Tuesday, December 9th.
I got a really cheap deal to go to Boston. A friend and I went to Boston on Air Canada. It was really cheap, and then we went down to New York.
Oh, in 1980.
Yeah, and we thought, this is nuts. We were in the same city when he got shot.
Do you remember CP Air back in the 80s?
Yeah.
Remember those orange planes? Used to have. I was
boy.
I was 4 or 5 years old. I remember going on it. But yeah, that would have been what a wild time to travel to back then. I bet like Boston would have been. Boston's always awesome.
We saw the Celtics play. We saw the Rangers and Bruins play in New York City, Madison Square.
In the Celtics at Old Boston Garden.
Yep.
Larry Bird.
We got a really good deal.
Kevin McHale.
Back in those days, yes, it was. Who was the big center? Larry Bird was on the team, I believe.
Bird, Kevin McHale, and then they had...
Who was the big center?
Oh, what was his name?
They were very good. But we got a really good deal from a ticket scalper. In those days, they were just paper tickets, and they gave us a really good deal, and I showed up. We went to the very top of the actual stadium, and there was a big metal pole right in front of my view, so I had to put one knee on one side of the pole and the other knee, and I'd go like, if you can see it on YouTube. It wasn't the best seat in the house.
All right. Let's go with Arash Madani here.
It's time to go coast to coast with Arash Madani for Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Gawley at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
Ed on the YouTube chat. Robert Parrish was the center.
Robert Parrish. That was Ed?
Ed, attaboy, Ed.
And I snuck down to their dressing room, and I didn't know how tall Robert Parrish was till I stood beside him.
Oh, yeah.
I was up to his knees.
Basketball
it was
players
ridiculous.
Are huge. Arash Madani. Fond memories of Robert Parrish.
Robert Parrish wore 00. No athletes wear 00 anymore in pro sports.
What a memory. Arash Madani gets 5 gold stars. He remembers Robert Parrish's number. That's pretty good.
Oh, sure.
That's
Is it
impressive.
Dark
That's
out
impressive.
east, or are you out in like Stockholm or somewhere? Where are you?
No, I'm outside my local pub, about to go in for a happy hour, but I had to first come on the Sportscage and talk about Robert Parrish.
You could have done it from the table or the bar. That would have been even better.
Go.
Hey, what about the schedule released today here on December 9th?
Yeah, I heard you talk about the 4-banger, Barney. Yes, I think you definitely need a shower after that. I think what we learned today is that with Stuart Johnson, the way the league has always done things is not necessarily going to be the way the league is going to continue to do things.
Right.
Exactly. I've gotten some sense that one thing that Stu wants to experiment with at some point, like what he'd like to do, is to have 4 games on at the same time the following year, whatever that is, 2027, because he wants to experiment digital only, like a red zone kind of thing, to see if people are going to be interested. Are you going to get more people gambling and watching and following if there's multiple games on at once? If one game's a dud, you don't necessarily have to be stuck with that for 3 hours or turn it, or even worse, turn it off. So I think they're going to try a few different things from a content standpoint just to see, okay, what moves the needle? You know, Reynolds talked about, we've done the data, 5 o'clock Saturdays work for us. Well, they want to work the data to see what are viewership habits, especially with those not watching on conventional television, and what's a way to get a younger audience on a digital type of format. And I think that's something that could be ahead.
You know, it's funny. I'm sort of getting off topic here, but when Craig Reynolds walked into our studio earlier today, I thought it was like Santa Claus, because he shows up and everybody's happy because they won the Grey Cup. And then,
of course,
when you first popped on screen here, Arash, you were all smiles outside of your local eatery and pub. And I sort of thought, you're sort of like Santa Claus, too. The Sportscage.
There you go, brown Santa, Don.
Everybody feels good. Craig Reynolds and Arash Madani show up, and everybody feels good, Barney.
The difference is Reynolds is getting a championship ring out of this, Don. I guess that's what stood out. What stood out to you two from what Reynolds had to say? What were your biggest takeaways?
They sold a hat every 12 seconds after the Grey Cup.
They were throwing merchandise right out of the box.
Every 12 ticket sales are up. That stood out to me. They're not changing the Canadian ratio. He said as far as the coaches salary cap for coaches, it doesn't really affect them. It's like a budget. They run it like a business, which I appreciate, and I like that as well. I think the league still should look at it.
One thing that stuck out to me, though, I keep going back to this, but he's not taking any credit for it. But after the 23 season, people wanted a cleaning of house, the majority of fans, after 22 and 23. And he did his research, he dug in, and he kept Jeremy O'Day. There were people that canceled their season's tickets because there wasn't a clean sweep. And he did the right thing, as it's clearly turning out, by keeping O'Day. And to me, that really stands out. He's not taking any credit for it, but he said bye to a coach. They needed a change there. They brought in who I think is the best coach in the league. And the rest is history. And to me, he deserves an enormous amount of credit for standing with what he saw and what he believed in, and he was right.
Yeah, and I think, Don, at a time where it's not just the CFL, at a time where football has now just moved into a full passing offense, to go with a defensive-minded coach is a roll of the dice. But Corey Mace isn't a defensive coach. Corey Mace is a culture coach.
Yeah.
Corey Mace is an attitude coach. Corey Mace is an identity coach who just happened to play defensive line and is a really good defensive football coach at the same time.
Great point.
Give the offensive keys to Mark Millar, to trust Millar with all of it, is so important. But I think it really kind of ties the bow on that culture and identity of, look, we believe in our people, and we're going to move forward with our people, and the payoff comes when they're spraying champagne on one another.
Yep. Great points.
Kate, I want to move to the Northern Star, Canada's Athlete of the Year. The second time SGA has won it. You were in a meeting today that deliberated and voted on the award. Why, Shay?
Well, there are a lot of reasons why, and I tried to articulate them kind of when I had my moment to speak. There are two players in NBA history, guys, who have won MVP, Finals MVP, and the scoring title in the same year. Michael Jordan and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Yeah. You look at Shai's calendar year, and that's what this is, Jan 1 to December 31. In 77 regular season games, Shai missed the 20-point scoring plateau once. 7
Amazing.
Games in the NBA Finals, he averaged better than 30. OKC is 23-1 this season. That's only been done by 2 other teams in the history of professional basketball. Like, let me count the ways on the accolades, on the superlatives of this dude are just incredible. And, we're not even getting into what kind of defender he is, what kind of fourth quarter finisher and closer and killer he is, all those kinds of things. There's an argument to be made, believe it or not, there's an argument to be made that Shai just had the best calendar year of any NBA player ever, including Jordan, including Kobe, including LeBron, including Shaq and Wilt Chamberlain and even Robert Parrish. So
doubles.
It's just been an incredible 2025 for this dude, who, by the way, also signed a super max contract and got himself a signature shoe. Like, all the check marks he's knocked off.
Oh, I totally agree with the decision. I don't believe it's really close, and there's something special about him because when he won, what was it, an EPSI award or whatever?
ESPY?
ESPY.
Be careful.
I can't even pronounce that.
Be careful with
when he won,
any last names.
when he won the ESPY award, I thought it was so cool because, of course, he's from Hamilton.
Okay.
And he looked at... Go ahead.
No, you go ahead and finish
Well,
it.
he looked at his teammates who were in the audience in the ESPY Awards, and he said, I love you guys, but I don't like you as much as my buddies in Hamilton. And I just said, he's such a feet-on-the-ground dude for what you just talked about, the greatest season of all time, and I agree with you. And he just seems to have his feet on the ground as a Canadian, as most Canadians do.
Yeah, most. What was it unanimous though? Do you know that?
It was not unanimous, and there were a lot of people advocating, and understandably so, after 4 gold medals at the World Championships, after a couple of more world records, for Summer McIntosh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you can understand why. It was an incredible year for Summer, coming off the Olympic triumph in 2024, kind of repeats it in 25. And probably in any other year, this would be McIntosh's award. But again, this is a one of one. Now, look, the LA 2028 Olympics awaiter, McIntosh could end up becoming what maybe she already is, one of the great Canadian athletes of all time. But Summer was definitely there in the conversation, and it was effectively a 2-horse race with McIntosh and SGA.
Was Vlad, I know he was born in Montreal. I forget about that a lot of times. Any discussion there? Close? Maybe a couple votes?
Very briefly, in the early part of the conversation, the way it goes, 18 athletes were nominated and 5 became finalists. Vlad was talked about, but he did not even reach the 5. What's interesting, guys? There's so many athletes we don't even really think about. Yeah, of course, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is front and center. But, the AL MVP was won by Aaron Judge, and Cal Raleigh was the runner-up. And, Shohei Ohtani and the NL, blah, blah, blah. The world's best rugby player this year was a Canadian. Cameron Rogers, the hammer thrower, your favorite sport, Barney. She had a hell of a year. Victoria Mboko, the tennis player who started the year 332 in the world, ends up number 18 as an 18-year-old this year, wins a couple of tournaments, including the one on home soil. So there are so many athletes we almost forget about. Vlad was mentioned, but Vlad ultimately wasn't even a finalist among the top 5.
Maybe some of the people on the committee forget that Vlad was born in Canada. I guess not. Seems a little lame, but anyway.
Well, and I always, because his English isn't that great too, and I
think the bigger thing is, though, guys, is that internationally he competes for the Dominican Republic. He doesn't compete for Canada.
Touche, yeah.
And I think that's the bigger, World Baseball Classic next year, he'll be playing for DR, not for Canada.
Gotcha.
Nathan Rourke, would he have been in the 18?
He was definitely in the 18. I can't remember if he was top 5. He may have been. Look, the last time a Canadian quarterback won this award was Russ Jackson in the 1960s.
Yeah.
Jeez.
John Cornish has won it, obviously a running back. But Rourke's name was mentioned. I think it would have been such an interesting conversation this year if it weren't for SGA and McIntosh. Because then it's wide open. Then are you talking about Sam Bennett? Then, there wasn't even a hockey player in the top 5.
Some senior hockey weapons from last year that won some provincial banners. They missed it. Sasky boys.
They missed it. Rachel Homan was definitely a name that came up in the conversation. Had a big year, just qualified for the Milano Cortina Olympics next year. So next year's an Olympic year. It's a totally different conversation then.
Let's move on to the Kansas City Chiefs. It looked like Travis Kelce was going to cry on the bench the other night.
He probably wrote a song about it already.
Yeah. And Mahomes, he's only 30, but he just seems to have slowed down. He doesn't run as fast at only 30. But what do you think? Can Andy Reid bring this team back, or is it a very sad and slow goodbye, Arash?
Well, I think we got to pause here for a sec, Don. because you think about the last 6 years, they've been to 6 straight AFC championship games. They've won 5 of them, and they won 3 Super Bowls. Like, this is the end of an era, and it's the end of a dynasty. In the 70s, it was the Steelers. In the 80s, it was the 49ers. In the 90s, it was the Cowboys. New England had 2 of them in the 2000s and then the 2010s. And then the 20s are, you look at Kansas City. Now, here's what I wonder. Could KC, especially with Patrick Mahomes, end up being Patriots 2.0? And here's what I mean by that. The guy next to you will remind you that New England went 10 years between winning championships. They had 2 separate eras, 2 separate dynasties. Could Patrick Mahomes do it again with an altogether different cast a few years from now? Because Kelsey's done. Their offensive line's a mess. Their pass rush is non-existent. They have a really nice secondary. But going to 6 straight, playing into late January and February year after year, man, it takes a toll. So I just wonder about that with KC as they kind of look forward.
I think that's quite possible. It's very interesting you bring that up. Never thought of that. He would have to take a little bit of a hometown discount along the way at some point, much like Brady did. And then, but that's good discussion. Let's have more NFL discussion on Thursday. Plus, I'm going to send you a picture in the next 30 seconds here that you're just going to shake your head as you have a pint at your local. Oh, and then look what Colson did. Yes. There he is. If you're watching the stream, there's our boy right there, 00s, Robert Parrish. What a handsome human.
So this is how pathetic my life is that I know this stat. Robert Parrish is number 2 all-time in NBA career wins.
Really?
As a player. How about that one? Yeah.
Another 5 gold stars for Arash. We throw Robert Parrish at him out of the blue, and because he knows everything about him. Incredible.
Colson, put that picture back up real quick. Fellas, what's the jersey number?
Unbelievable, Arash.
00.
And what I found out the hard way, and I say the hard way, I won't explain the whole story, but he is not a man of many words. He had 2 words for me. 2.
Yeah.
I won't say what they are.
Started with an F? Did the first one start with an F, John?
Yes, it did.
I figured it would.
I tried to corner him in a hallway of the aging Boston Gardens.
Number 2.
Didn't go well.
Number 2 all time, behind Lou Alcindor.
Great stat.
Yes.
Okay, go have that pint. Maybe a plate of wings or something.
Have 2. You did a great job tonight, so have 2, Arash.
Looking good,
Maybe
buddy.
3.
Looking
Sounds
good, buddy.
boys.
All right, have
Thursday.
a night. There he is. Thursday, we'll talk to him again. Arash Madani is brought to you by Brian Golly.
What a brilliant man.
Smart investing solutions.
We should have a brain contest between Rob Vanstone and Arash Madani.
Be smart with your money.
Who's the smartest guy with...
Call Brian Golly. Are we going to... You want to get like a little game going?
Yeah, those 2, they just dig up stuff. Like I don't have a strong enough... I'm not that smart, but those 2 guys are just nuts.
I wonder if Rob has the widespread knowledge. Locally, you can't beat him. Locally, you can't beat...
There's been no Rob Vanstone prior to Rob Vanstone.
But then you throw a Rash with a blanket. It's like playing the radio game. I love playing the radio game. You get into a rock guy, he's got it. A country guy, you got to rap. You got to be able to name all the tunes.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I think you're right. Arash has a wide net.
And I was...
but Vanstone remembers when a guy in 1951 on the Roughriders tied his shoe.
Yeah, oh no, he'll
have the stat. He tied his shoe at exactly 3:10 at practice in 1951 or
because he wore Velcro the day before. And I was wrong. Yes, it looks like I was wrong. I don't know what my Google... possibly the last time I trust Google. Is John Lennon was shot yesterday. I don't know why it said today. Regardless, within the last 24 hours, back in 1980, John Lennon was shot. And you were in New York.
I was in the same city at the same time, but not close to him. Not close to where he was shot. Although, years later, I did go by where he was shot.
Were you a Beatles fan?
Oh, huge. I used to have
Favorite
a Beatles
song?
hat. I used to have a Beatles hat. Everybody did in grade 2. What's my favorite Beatles song? Can you give me some time?
No, yeah, let's go to break.
Might be
Let's
Penny
go to break.
Lane. I don't know.
Let's go to break.
Because Penny Lane is still almost the same.
Have you ever seen the Cirque du Soleil when they used to have the Cirque du Soleil at Mirage?
Yes,
the
I
Beatles
did.
song? I took
Great
my
show.
wife to that. It was like she wanted to poke her eyeballs out and her ears because she's not a Beatles fan.
Oh.
What did you take me? Tell me.
You know what my dumbest comment of all time was? I went to see Paul McCartney when he was here at the old Taylor Field.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to my wife, this is on the dumb scale of 10 out of 10, I said, I didn't realize that Paul McCartney was that good of a musician. The dumbest comment of all time.
It's the Sports Cage on this Tuesday for Saskatchewan Roughriders. We'll be right back. We still got Al Millar, general manager of the World Junior team, coming up live here.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. 1 full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
What's going on in the markets? When is the right time to invest? What should you do with your money today? When Lindsay had questions, she talked to Brian Golly.
We looked at all the different investments we had out there. He helped us pull it all together and determine what would work best for our lifestyle.
You don't have to plan your financial future alone.
He's trustworthy and he's very easy to work with.
Call Brian Golly of Smart Investing Solutions, 306-546-2533.
In an ideal world, you're already driving one. When you're behind the commands of the Fendt Ideal Combine, you experience a workhorse that takes harvest to task. Real-time monitoring, 485-bushel grain tank that unloads at 6 bushels per second, all backed by a 3-year full machine warranty, plus all scheduled maintenance ensures your harvest doesn't stop. Now that's how you grow bold. See the Ideal Fendt Combine at Nick's Service in Emerald Park. nickservice.com.
The Sports Cage Clutch Performer for Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fendt dealer. Call 781-1077.
It is Clutch Performer time. All right, I haven't really been following because I've been on the air for the last hour and a half. But, geez, he signed to
Yeah, I think they signed him to practice roster.
Philip Rivers. I want to know how this came about. He's got like 13 children. He's coaching high school football.
He's 44, isn't he?
44. The age thing doesn't really baffle me. He's out of the game for 5 years. And of all the people, like, it was baffling. You know who I thought would come back before him? Who they would reach out to? Who's 43 years old? Ryan Fitzpatrick. Because he just played a couple years ago, and that guy was kind of bouncing around there. You know who's only 45 years old that maybe could still sling it?
Tom Brady.
Michael Vick.
Oh, wow.
You know who's 45
he's
years
older
old?
than that.
You know who's 45 and was young, or retired young, who probably still gets the itch?
The old Colt.
Tony Romo.
Oh, okay.
45. Only 44. No, Tom Brady is a year older than me, I think. I think he's 49.
Yeah, he's a little older.
But he can,
well,
man. I wouldn't doubt Tom for a quarter.
This wouldn't come out of the blue because Rivers must have been working out and training and throwing lots of footballs. He must have been. He wouldn't just come off looking after his kids and coaching a high school team to doing this. He must have been preparing. I'm guessing because it'll be. Well, it'll get lots of attention for the Colts. It's desperate times, desperate measures.
You mean you don't have a younger guy or any that can sling it better than him?
Well, you saw what the younger guy did. He was having his problems.
They're all hurt. That's why they're
there's
coming
other
to
guys
him.
around.
Yeah, but another thing to how prepared he is. J.J. Watt tweeted this, learned from his production meetings today. Apparently, Philip Rivers and Shane Steichen, the head coach, spoke weekly about the team and the offense because Philip Rivers ran the same offense as the Colts for his son Gunner's high school team this season.
Okay.
So Rivers knows the offense inside and out.
Still crazy.
That's still bonkers, yeah. But I want to know how his son's team is doing now.
Do you know the oldest player,
that is bonkers in some ways.
The oldest quarterback ever to play in the NFL?
Oh, the old Oakland Raider.
48 years old, 1975. George
Blendikoff. No, not
Blanda.
Oh, yeah, George Blanda.
You're close, though. You're right there. What's your favorite Beatles song?
Only 1 year younger brain, I would have had it. What's that?
What's your favorite Beatles song?
I think, it wasn't Long and Winding Road by Wings with Paul McCartney. I used to love that song because a girl dumped me in high school, and I used to play that song when I cried at night. What's your favorite Beatles song?
Ballad of John and Yoko. Got me onto the Beatles. I know it's out there. It's not the popular pick.
Now, was that just a song by John Lennon, or was it the Beatles?
It was the Beatles.
Okay.
Yeah. Man, there's so many good ones, though. And then the rooftop thing, the first time over in North America. When they played Montreal. I think the first time over here. Yeah, it's awesome. Anyways, that's clutch performance.
I just remember lots of Kleenexes when I listened to the Long and Winding Road as I got dumped in high school.
What was her name?
And I'd hear that song and tears just...
What was her name?
I remember her name, but I don't think it's a good idea to bring it up.
Oh,
55 years ago or so.
Come on.
That'd be like...
Statute of limitations. You're all good, man.
No, it was just, you're young. You're young.
That was an interesting clutch performer. I love it. For Nick's service in Emerald Park, your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Row-Getter, Gleaner, and Fent dealer. We're hoping to come back and be joined by Al Millar, GM of World Junior Hockey Team. That's getting set for Minnesota. It's a Sports Cage on 620 CKRM.
Get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
Holiday season is here, and let's be honest, who wants to cook? Skip the stress. Grab takeout from Western Pizza and keep everyone happy without lifting a finger. And here's a tip. Western Pizza gift cards make the perfect stocking stuffer or last-minute gift. Warm, cheesy, loaded with toppings. It's the gift everyone actually wants. Western Pizza. Dine in or take out today, before your stomach sends out a holiday memo.
And get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
Sask Lotteries has over 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
This is Sports Cage. Be part of the show. Call 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. 620 CKRM.
We'll jump back to the Prairie Land Rentals text line in a bit. Read some of your text messages on the signing of Jamarcus Hardrick, Alberta Watchie back in the fold, and of course the CFL schedule being released today. Thanks to everyone who's messaging in about the John Lennon thing. I got big music fans listening to the Sports Cage here. Western Pizza, Now's the time. Stocking stuffer, gift exchange. Maybe it's the company potluck. Think Western Pizza this holiday season. Let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Joining us, I haven't talked to him in a while, general manager of the World Junior Hockey Team, former GM here in Regina, Al Millar, made some time for us today. Al, how are you doing? Nice hat. By the way, you're all decked out. You're ready to go.
Good.
Nice to see you again, Al.
Yeah, you too, guys. Great to join the show. And today's a little bit after the announcement yesterday and the grind of the last few months. Today's a little bit of a lazy day. So, a little bit more casual than usual.
You don't have many of those lazy days. I know that.
No, not many at all. And, our group starts to head to Niagara Falls tomorrow to get set up for player arrival on Friday. So the grind goes right through to January 6th now.
So you talked about it yesterday, and I read it, that this team is, you're building a team here, not an all-star team, and this tournament is hard to win. And I think in 2025, a lot of us in my demographic, we look back at Stéphane Fissette in the 80s, and it was like, oh, Canada's playing, who knows, and then we're going to walk, and when do we play the Russians? But this tournament is hard to win, Al. And what don't the casual fans realize about the process and what you guys are building here?
Yeah, I think that, that sentiment around just what you're saying there, Barney, and it's hard tournament to win. And we kind of, we don't kind of, but we know what those games look like, whether it's Finland or the Americans or Sweden or Czechia and, big, heavy teams. And in those games when it's hard, when it's an elimination game and, it's a tournament where you can beat by a goalie on any given night. So, our process is, a lot of different factors go into it. It starts with talent. You have to have talent. You got to score goals. You got to produce offensively. But there is a process in terms of knowing that you need to have different types of players. You need to, you need to have guys that are competitive. I always say that there's good players that get points, but they play on the perimeter. They're good with time and space. Those guys don't help you win in a semifinal against a big, heavy Finnish team. So separating that and building a true team. And we talk about a lot of things. Whether it's what our special units look like, what we might, those final decisions. What do we have? What do we need? Size matters for us. We want to play heavy, and we want to be competitive, and ultimately we want smart players. So that's a little bit of the big part of the process.
Okay, so you got to watch him last year a lot when he was with Medicine Hat, and obviously he's a special player. There's no doubt about it. Gavin McKenna, what type of player will work with Gavin McKenna in your mind?
Well, I think Gavin's got to be surrounded by, guys that can think the game at his level, especially when it comes to, his vision and his playmaking ability. He's got to play with guys at that level in terms of a skill set and hockey sense. And, we also want to surround him with the right guy, whether that's, someone down the middle or on right wing, or that does, a little bit of the heavy lifting in terms of, competing and forechecking and puck retrieval and puck support and all those things. But, Gavin is an elite player. Lots of people want to, make a topic out of his production in the NCAA so far. Doesn't concern us at all. We know what he is as a player and a person. He's coming in here with a chip on his shoulder from last year, him and Martone and the other returning guys, and Gavin's needs to be and will be an offensive catalyst for us. He'll be a real important player on the power play. And, I wouldn't be surprised if he's one of the top players and one of the leading scorers at the end of the day. And if he does that, we'll be successful.
Well, first off, Al, congratulations on bringing in both Mark and Dale Hunter. I mean, they know how to win championships, and you're on the same page with them, and all they do is win Memorial Cups. They're in it every year. I mean, it's amazing what they do. But I think it was Dale that said, or one of the three of you that said, humility is important. There's been stories in past championships, I don't know about the last two where they're finished fifth, but there's been stories in past championships where the coaches couldn't get the heads small enough in that room because you're a big star on the World Junior team, and you talk about humility and forget all about the other business about being a big shot.
Yeah, it's important because you're bringing in the best players from their own CHL teams, their production, the minutes they play with their club team, and you need role acceptance. You need guys to accept different minutes and different roles. And if a player next week wants to be humbled real quickly, Dale Hunter can do that. And thanks for the shout out on Dale and Mark. It was my first phone call when I took the job. We're going to get this thing back on track. You make a call to London and you get one of the best coaches in the CHL and one of the best managers in the CHL to be part of your management group. So I think that and I think the other thing about Dale is, as you guys know, a lot of times in these situations, national teams, it can be a stepping stone for a coach to the NHL. Well, Dale's not trying to get to the NHL. Dale could be in the NHL if he wanted to be. Dale's here for one reason, and that's to win a gold medal. And if certain players don't want to buy in or play the game the right way, then they won't play. And but we feel good, guys, about, I think our lineup is deep with character, deep with leadership. I categorize the core of our team as what I call real hockey guys. They're smart. They play the game the right way. We can trust them to play the game the right way. We got lots of versatility and flexibility up and down our lineup. We're real strong down the middle. We got the different pieces in terms of offensive production, power play, and shutdown guys on the back end. Mm-hmm. And I think our goaltending is going to be as good as anybody's in the tournament. So we like our group. We wouldn't mind another player or two from the NHL, but we're not sure that that's going to happen. And, we made our final decisions based on no help from the NHL. And if this is the group we take to Minneapolis, we're good to go.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
I got a two-part on that because I was going to text him yesterday, and I texted his dad. Still holding out. I know he's week to week now. Still holding out maybe hope for Berkeley Catton is the first. Secondly, is how early do you start talking to NHL teams maybe about some players, Al?
Yeah, I think the NHL communication has really been the last couple of months with the number of eligible players that we have in the NHL. The NHL team GMs have been great to connect with myself and probably Scott Salmon more than me in terms of, he's on the Olympic management group, so he's dealing with NHL GMs all the time. But they've been great. Obviously we got Parikh and Brunek and Misa loan from San Jose, Pittsburgh, and Calgary. And we've communicated with the other guys that are available. Hey, we're not worrying about Celebrini or Schaefer or Beckett-Seneke. Those guys are just too impactful, playing too well. But just think about the team if everybody was available. But that's, hey, we're proud of those guys that are in the NHL and playing and contributing. So right now, we'll go through camp with the 27 players. The NHL teams, we've asked them to communicate with us that we'd like to take our team the night of the 22nd to Minneapolis. So somewhere around that 20th, the December 20th, teams will let us know if they're loaning them or not. And those three NHL teams, Kindle, Dickinson in San Jose and Berkeley, are going to take the time to make the decision. And really on Berkeley right now, the priority is to see how long he's out for and then see if Seattle decides coming off the injury to send him to World Juniors, and does the timeline work for the injury for him to get in our lineup at the appropriate time. But what I can tell you on Berkeley is that he's a lot of positive feedback from Seattle on Berkeley, and we know how great of a kid and how great of a player he is.
Nice.
Now, the NHL as a whole, I would say, has a lot of respect for the Hunters. A lot of respect for Dale as a coach and Mark as well. The respect that the league has at every level for the Hunters, do you think that's going to help you when it comes down to making decisions about certain players being sent to the World Juniors?
Yeah, I think the general managers, guys that we're talking to, Cal Dubas in Pittsburgh and Mike Greer in San Jose and Jason Botterill in Seattle, I think they really know the value of what this experience could be for their player, his development. I think they all know that they're going to get a better player, coming back from the World Juniors that they have right now. And I do believe that there's a respect for the program and there's respect for Dale as the head coach. Like Sam Dickinson, for example, was London's captain last year when they won the Memorial Cup. Well, him and Barkey were the captains. So there's familiarity there. I think the thing that's gonna determine if we get 1, 2, or 3 of these guys is injuries. Not only the injury to Berkeley Catton, so on his status, but San Jose's had a defenseman go down here recently. Pittsburgh's put 2 or 3 forwards, including Malcolm, on IR today, called up 3 forwards from the American Hockey League. So I think you're seeing around the NHL, and there's lots of talk about the condensed schedule and the Olympics, and just a ton of injuries coming. So that may be something that maybe derails these guys being available. But we're hopeful that we could land 1, 2, or all 3 of them.
Couple more here. Al Millar's joining us, General Manager at Team Canada at the World Juniors. You mentioned earlier the guys that didn't win last year and, obviously not even medaling and then just that burn. You've been around the game a long time. I know guys that played for you and worked for you. Smart enough to figure that out. The other guy is like a Zane Perrect who wanted to play there last year. The guys that have that burn, Al, is there something how do you maybe talk about those guys that have that extra motivation from maybe not making the team and then the guys coming back, and then how do you harness that?
Yeah, I think harness is a key word there, Barney. You don't want in this tournament, you don't want to be too emotional. But at the same time, we're looking for our veteran guys, and particularly the 6 guys that were on the team last year, to come in a little pissed off and be motivated to make sure we're better. I think Scott Salmon, from his leadership as our senior VP of hockey operations, in his mind and his debriefing after the event in last year, he wasn't happy with the results, and he put a new structure in place. We put a new structure in place with the manager and myself. We put a new structure in place with Misha Donskoff joining us from Dallas as a VP and a national teams coach. Misha's going to be on our bench with the World Juniors. He's also going to be on the bench with John Cooper at the Olympics.
Wow!
So there's a new structure there's a new structure in terms of staffing, and there's a new structure around camp. We're prioritizing preparations over more evaluations, more selections. So those are all things. We're bringing in a face-off guy. We're bringing in a shootout guy, to concentrate on those details of, what can help you win and lose in a short-term tournament. So no stone is being unturned here to get the right group together. And, I'm excited to turn over the group at the end of the day to Dale here starting on the weekend, and he can start to get this team ready for Boxing Day.
Okay, last one. I want to ask you, as a fan, going back however you want, as a fan of the tournament, what's your favorite World Junior memory?
Well, it's hard to get past, winning when you're involved. Like the moment we were on the ice in Halifax, that when we won that game in overtime, and the place was absolutely shaking at ice level. It'd be something I'll never forget. But way back in the day, I was managing Calgary's American League team in St. John, New Brunswick. Young Scott Smith, who, the former president of Hockey Canada, was the executive director of New Brunswick Hockey. And him and I had the opportunity to go down to Boston for the World Juniors. So being in the building, being on American soil, watching the team win, just because it was in person and live, was probably my fondest memory of being around the World Juniors as a fan, Barney.
That's nice. Let's hope it happens again on American soil, just across the border in Minnesota. Maybe get Mark Habscheid to get that recording of O Canada that they had to play way back when, because they didn't have it in that small barn they won. Al, have the rest of the night off. You're going to become a busy man. Always appreciate you, and thanks for taking some time today.
Anytime, guys. Always a pleasure. Great to connect. Take care.
Thank you, Al.
Go get it.
Thanks.
Go get it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Man, that's it's hard. Actually, I was thinking about it today. I'm like, man, it's hard to believe it's like coming up.
What we were saying earlier, I was in Minneapolis over the weekend, and I saw billboards about the World Juniors. I saw some local commercials on television about the World Juniors. I mean, it's Minneapolis, it's a big city, lots going on there, but it's a hockey state, and it's getting a lot of pre-tournament attention there.
Hockey in the state of Minnesota, hockey in a lot of those states. Like I know we think that it's like it's ours, and we have this like no one else knows it like we do. But you get to that Eastern Seaboard, you get to Minnesota's, the Michigans, that it is going to be a big deal. That was a great interview. Al hopping on. I was going to ask him if Pats announced their teddy bear toss night coming up. If he misses the teddy bear toss nights in the Western Hockey League. Let's go to break. It's the Sports Cage, streaming at sportscage.com.
It's time to get into the holiday spirit. It's the 37th annual Christmas card for MS. Join CKRM this Sunday as we fill your home with holiday requests. To make a request, all it takes is a simple donation to the MS Society of Saskatchewan. Visit CKRM.com or call in during the show, because giving back is the true spirit of the season. The 37th annual MS Musical Christmas Card, proudly supported by Sastel Pioneers. Only on your home for Christmas magic. 620 CKRM.
So, since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it.
I don't even know. That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did. Down here. I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
Looking for the best gear at the best price? Extreme Hockey and Sport just raised the bar. Now, with a price match guarantee, find the same product anywhere else, show the price, and they'll match it. The gear you need, the service you trust, and the price you want. Why settle for anything less? Get the local loyalty and the price match guarantee only at Extreme Hockey. Any budget, expert fit. Your local sit and fit hockey shop. Extreme Hockey and Sport, 1425 McIntyre Street, Regina's Hockey Shop.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Extreme Hockey and Sport, Regina's locally owned one-stop hockey shop. Now with a price match guarantee, 1425 McIntyre Street.
CFL schedule release day. Riders, they have a week 1 bye, then they're going to host the British Columbia Lions in week 2. Raise a banner. 4 Saturday games, 2 Friday, and 1 on Thursday. May 23rd, the preseason game up in Stoon at Griffith Stadium. Saskatchewan Roughriders signed offensive lineman Jamarcus Hardrick. 1-year contract extension, as they did with Albert Awachi, fullback, back in the fold. Alouettes signed quarterback Davis Alexander to a 1-year extension through 2028. He was already signed to 2027, so he's got another year. Hockey in the area, Moose Jaw hosting Saskatoon in the dub. SJ Yorkton plays host to Estevan. Melford's traveling into LA to take on the Ice Wolves. Midget AAA, Moose Jaws in Notre Dame, 7:30. Female U18, Regina Rebels at the Weyburn Gold Wings, 7 p.m. Hockey Canadian teams, Montreal, Don's Boys hosting Tampa Bay. Ottawa welcomes the New Jersey Devils. Winnipeg hosting the Stars. It's the one we talked about in the sprinkle of the day. And the Edmonton Oilers taking on the Buffalo Sabres. Sportscage.com poll. How do you grade the 2025 Saskatchewan Roughriders schedule? You can vote at sportscage.com. It is for 2026. Thanks, Colson. I don't want to go back in time. And then the ticker is for Extreme Hockey and Sport in Regina. Right now, talk about deals for a holiday season, a chance to win gift cards, specials around the store, mystery minis in stock for those kids or adults that like the mini sticks. It's all at Extreme Hockey and Sport. They're local, they support local, and it's home of the price match guarantee. Hour 3, let's talk CFL schedules, talk CFL signings with Glen Suitor, and we're going to rerun our interview with Craig Reynolds. It is The Cage on 620 CKRM.
From the towers to the tractors, country's greatest hits. 620 CKRM, a Harvard media station.
It's 5 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM news for Echo Sound and Fort Qu'Appelle. Stay connected with a new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. Saskatchewan RCMP say reduced road conditions continue to affect drivers across southern Saskatchewan after officers received 47 weather-related calls between midnight and 2 p.m. today. The calls included collisions and vehicles stuck on roads or in ditches. RCMP say blowing and drifting snow will continue through the evening, lowering visibility. They warn the public that winter weather is expected across the province all week. Mounties urge people to check the highway hotline before traveling and delay trips when poor conditions are forecast. Saskatchewan's auditor says a subsidy of nearly $7 million that the city of Regina is paying Costco could have been avoided had a provincial Crown Corporation properly communicated about the giant retail company's new location. Tara Clement says the Global Transportation Hub didn't collaborate with the city about negotiating with Costco.
There is the potential that additional costs may have been avoided if some of this collaboration and those procedures had been better defined.
Earlier this year, Regina City Council approved giving Costco the subsidy to ensure it builds elsewhere in the city. Chris Fallman's case was back in Weyburn Provincial Court today for his first appearance since he was denied bail last month. Fallman is charged with second-degree murder and reckless firearm discharge in the September shooting death of 44-year-old Tanya Myers near Weyburn. His lawyer, Sharon Fox, told the court she wants a preliminary inquiry set soon and said the Crown expects it to take 7 or 8 days. Judge David Chow agreed the case must move ahead efficiently and set a date of December 18th for the man's next court appearance. A Saskatchewan man has been arrested in Alberta and charged with sexual exploitation and sexual assault. Vermilion RCMP say that on November 30th, they received a report of a sexual assault at Lakeland College. Following their investigation, a 20-year-old man from Unity was arrested on December 4th. The man was brought before a Justice of the Peace and released on conditions. He is scheduled to appear before the Alberta Court of Justice in Vermilion on January 5th. Health Canada has approved the first drug designed to treat postpartum depression. Canada Research Chair in Reproductive Mental Health, Dr. Crystal Clark, says antidepressants are often used, but Zurzuvae works faster.
Although we have treatment options that can be effective for many who have postpartum depression, this will be the first drug that only needs to be taken for 2 weeks and has a rapid onset of a few days.
Symptoms of postpartum depression include intense sadness or anxiety, feelings of worthlessness, shame or guilt, difficulty bonding with the baby, and having trouble doing daily tasks. And 2 Canadian companies will help develop Arctic satellite communications for Canada's military. The Canadian Armed Forces currently has limited satellite communications options in the Arctic, mostly relying on commercial networks. Ottawa has signed a new strategic partnership with Telesat and MDA Space. The $5 billion plus project is among the first batch of major military procurements being handled by Ottawa's new Defence Investment Agency. That's your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
This holiday season, in the red corner, weighing in at jolly and unstoppable, it's Santa Claus.
Santa's laying the smackdown on slow internet and bad cell coverage. Because at Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer, the deals are off the ropes. Get the latest cell phone, SaskTel MaxStream, and lightning fast internet that'll make your holidays legendary. So tag in the pros at Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Qu'Appelle. EchoSound.ca.
Brought to you by Line X Regina, Serious Protection Killer Lux, 1865 McCarra Street. Matt's Furniture. Visit mattsfurniture.ca.
Snow leading into the night diminishes as the night goes on. The wind, which is very strong, also diminishes. The temperature has begun its sharp drop through the night. We'll head all the way down to around minus 19. Gusty winds through the evening, already driving wind chills down through the minus 20s. We'll feel more like minus 30 by morning. But the wind is lighter. After peaking over 50 kilometers per hour, it's in the 15 to 25 range through the day on Wednesday. A couple of flurries in the afternoon. That should amount to it, but mostly a dry day with partial sunshine. We recover to minus 11 for the daytime high tomorrow and then continue to rise through the night. That flurry that sets up in the afternoon becomes a steadier light snow briefly through the evening. A couple of centimeters possible. That will come to an end. Temperature rising to minus 7 by Thursday morning, holding there for a little while, then dropping to minus 15. Again, a few late day snow showers. But then dry Friday, partly sunny, minus 25. Saturday, minus 23. With your 620 CKRM weather forecast, I'm Precision Weather meteorologist Phil Spivak.
For 40 years, the team from Line X Regina has been protecting vehicles across Saskatchewan, and we're changing with the times. 3 generations of our family have protected your vehicles. Our business has evolved, and we're not stopping now. The next generation is here. Same family, same commitment. Ready for the next generation of truck beds, rocker panels, trailers, bumpers, and running boards in all kinds of colors. Line X Regina, 1865 McCarra Street. The next generation of protective coatings.
He's at it again. Matt's sharpening his pencil to save you money at Matt's Furniture. Now till December 10th, it's the Black Friday sale. Buy any 2 qualifying Whirlpool or Maytag kitchen appliances and save $150. Buy 3 or more qualifying Whirlpool or Maytag kitchen appliances and save $300. And buy any qualifying washer and dryer and save $150. See in store for details and list of qualifying models. The Black Friday sale is on now at Matt's Furniture in Fort Qu'Appelle, Kamsack, Melville, and Foam Lake, or online at mattsfurniture.ca.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Sask Lotteries, bringing communities together. Sask Lottery products fund over 12,000 sports, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Fun show so far on this Tuesday for Saskatchewan Lotteries. The Professor Don Hewitt is with me, former CTV sports director. If you miss any of it, go back in podcast form. You can watch it on YouTube later if you want to check out our new Sports Cage hat that I'm wearing. It's been great. We're going to rerun the Craig Reynolds interview.
Very
half of this
informative.
hour.
Yep.
Yeah, it was great.
Very good.
Got to do that. And it's time. So we got Glen Suitor standing by. But we're going to play PumpJacks Cathedral Trivia while we have Glen on the line. And we can just bring you in. Glen likes to, shake things up.
He likes trivia.
Question is going to be based on Rough Rider games from years past. The schedule was released today. So we'll have some fun with that. 936-6262, PumpJack Cathedral, 13th and Albert. Kids are allowed until 8. Live music on the weekends. I was there. We were going to go back Friday night. Then we kind of got detoured. Because they were the band. I was talking to the band when they were setting up. I was like, do you play any rock set? He's like, no. But you play a lot of country. And I'm like, okay. Ronnie Millsap. He's like, no. And then they went through the list. It was pretty good.
I can't believe you'd get detoured in a bar, Barney.
Yeah, well, it was a detour from one bar to another bar. It was an eventful night Friday night after the Pats game. Let's go talk to Glen Suitor.
Time now for press coverage with CFL and Saskatchewan Roughrider legend Glen Suitor on the Sports Cage. Brought to you by Bronco Plumbing and Heating, where professional service is guaranteed. They'll treat you right. 781-2090.
Mr. Glen Suitor. Hey, what was your favorite Beatles song? We're talking about how yesterday was the anniversary of the death.
The actual song yesterday, but there's a yesterday too.
John Lennon was shot back in 1980. I thought it was today. I was wrong. My Google's wrong. I think I got a different Google. But what's your favorite Beatles song? I like to talk music with you. You know this.
Oh yeah. Oh well. There's first of all every year when on the anniversary, or I guess that's not the right way to say it, but when John Lennon was shot, my buddy there, who I traveled to Europe with last year, we were in Liverpool. We made a point. We're both huge Beatles fans. He's a pretty good singer, so when we play guitar, we try to play like Blackbird and Yesterday and some of the songs from the Beatles. And he's a pretty good singer, so that's what we do around the campfire a lot. That's one of the iconic statues of the four Beatles in Liverpool down at the pier, if you're watching the feed. And so every year we have a glass of wine and toast John Lennon, one of the founders of one of the greatest bands of all time. Went to the Cavern Club, of course, while we were in Liverpool, where they got their start. But to answer your question, Barney, like Hard Day's Night, Yesterday, Sure, Here Comes the Sun was fantastic.
Yeah.
I love the harmonies and Help, and the backup vocals in the song Help. Let It Be. How could you not? I mean, Let It Be is huge.
Tugs at the Feels. Want to hear while we're here, and it's just three of us talking, no one else listening. Here Comes the Sun.
Mm-hmm.
First time we ever pulled into St. Andrews, our first trip over to Scotland to golf, raining all the way from Edinburgh. Rain, and then you pull up, and it's just a big park, like the golf course, and there's a rugby pitch there. And then the ocean, we're St. Elmo's Fire, they record it.
Mm-hmm.
We pull in, and then the sunshine came on, and my buddy's iPod just happened to play Here Comes the Sun.
Really?
Is it just meant to be? Told my wife, I'm like, well, I got to go back. If things like that happen, you got to go back more than once or twice.
Total karma. You got to go back. How did you play that? I bet you shot like a nice round that day. That I get sucked into, Barney. Like if that, and by the way, if you look at the Beatles library, there's almost a song for every situation you can find yourself in on the planet. I mean, their library is something else. So yeah, it's what was it, 50 years ago? Yesterday? that Lennon was shot?
1980.
Well, I'd be 45.
80. Okay, well, before we get to the schedule, let's play PumpJacks Cathedral Trivia with you. You're going to know the answer to this, but let's play it with Glen Suitor online. Who do we have? Jeff and Regina. Okay, here we go. Intro.
It's time for Sportscage Trivia for PumpJacks. Great food, cold local draft, and a place that feels like home.
All right, Jeff and Regina, are you there? You're on with the professor and Glen Suitor. Not everybody gets to say that on a Tuesday.
Hi, guys. Thanks very much. Thank you. Hi, guys.
Okay, we're paying for $100 to PumpJacks Cathedral today, Jeff. You're going to have 10 seconds to answer the question correctly. Here is the question. When was the last time the Saskatchewan Roughriders played a preseason game in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan?
I believe it was 1991.
Jeff. It took you 2 seconds. You got it. Good job, Jeff.
Oh, wonderful. Thanks so much, guys.
Have you been to PumpJacks Cathedral yet?
No, I have not.
Okay, well, it's going to be, Colson's going to take your information here. If you like dry ribs and draft beer, that's my thing. You're gonna love it. The food's great. Stay on the line, Jeff. Thanks for playing. Just like that.
Okay, thanks very much. Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. $100 to PumpJacks Cathedral, 13th and Albert. Pints, ribs. I don't know when the next time you're coming into town, Glenn, but I could take you there. We could go for a twirl, solve some problems. Play the jukebox.
Been there, love it, love to go back. So I'm in. Count me in on that for sure. We'll probably walk in and they'll be playing a Beatles song.
I was going to say, you and I around a jukebox could be dangerous, just going back and forth. No, play this. No, play this. Okay, the schedule, though. What jumps out at you when they released the schedule this morning?
Well, first of all, it looks really balanced. I have a couple of small things that's a bit of a pet peeve. When you're talking about the rider schedule, I think they have that bye in the first week. I think that's always an advantage for teams to take a look at the other teams. Now, BC does too, and they play BC in their first regular season game. So, that doesn't really give them an advantage over the Lions and a chance to look at them for a real game on tape. So, but I think there is a little bit of an advantage for teams that get the bye in the first week to get things started on the right foot. So there's that. One of my, I'd call it just a bit of a pet peeve is that I really think the season should start with a Grey Cup rematch. I just do. But that's, part of it for me, guys, is the TV angle, because from a TV angle, if we play the rematch of the Grey Cup to start the season, we can say the last time we saw you in the pregame show, this is what happened, this is what went down, and basically remind fans of the championship game and how exciting it was, and Trevor Harris's performance and all of it. And then we can say, and now here's the rematch, we start the 26th season. But that's not going to happen. Riders don't play Montreal till October, I think.
That's right.
The other one that's interesting for me was that there's 4 games on the same day. I don't remember a time.
1995.
Yeah, and so 95, that would have been U.S. would have been involved in that too then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I looked at that and thought that's going to be a little bit of a logistical challenge from a TV perspective. They have, 4 different crews, 4 different trucks, TV trucks, all the cameras that are necessary. It's going to be.
Can I call a game? Can I do play-by-play for a game? It'll be really unorthodox, I'll tell you that much. There'll be a lot of slang.
Nice throw by Trevor Harris. Hey, did you guys hear the Beatles song "Help"? You remember that one?
Yep.
One of my.
Yeah, help to Barney. No, Glenn, I was just going to backtrack. You played in that last preseason game that was played in Saskatoon. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, we love Saskatoon for training camp, for sure. And early in my career, even well before 91, we would play 4 preseason games and, in fact, have an inter-squad game with no kicking game against the Bombers. Usually in Brandon, I think we would play that game. But lots of preseason back then, but we had 110 guys on the roster in training camp. So that's also changed in a big way. Very little contact in camp now, which is a good thing in a lot of ways. But I don't remember the game specifically, but I do remember fondly all of training camp in Saskatoon, how the city's always there. They're watching practice. The facilities at the university are fantastic. And it was just a great sort of way to start your season and go out and compete with all those fields that were spread apart back then.
I thought that the back-to-backs against Montreal late in the season were unique.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen that rematch earlier, and that would have been a week one game for me. But here's the other thing for the Riders and their schedule. You don't have. I think there's only one short week. In other words, the prep days for Corey Mason, this team will be consistent at 6 or 7, and at sometimes 8 days in between games. So that's important. You don't want to get caught up in too many of those short weeks. I think to open at home is excellent because you can do the banner stuff and defending champions until we play the Grey Cup again in November. On November 15th, I believe it is.
15th, yeah.
Yeah. So, and they'll play BC 3 times, Edmonton 3 times, and Calgary and Winnipeg in the division just twice. So, yeah, I like the balance for the Riders. I like the bye in week 1. I think that gives you a little edge to look at all the teams before you actually go play, or most of the teams anyway. And only from a player safety position, only one kind of short week, I believe, is what I counted anyway.
And it's interesting because it seems like the Riders of late have been playing the last game of the regular season in the CFL, and their last game again, Saturday, October 24th, Edmonton at Saskatchewan. And so there's no cold weather games, even across the prairies at all in the regular season anymore. I mean, October 24th is not winter yet. And so they're really trying to get into better weather conditions, it seems like, Glen, and going forward to 27 when the Grey Cup goes even a week ahead of the 15th this year.
Yeah, and it's a good point, and that bumping up I think is a good thing. I know there's some concern at the front end that you'll compete with the Stanley Cup playoffs. However, I would say starting our season and competing with NHL playoff hockey, I don't think we need to worry about that. People can tape it, watch it later, whatever. I would be more concerned to have a playoff game like a West Final up against something, real big, and often it is against baseball. But, I don't worry about that as much either. The other good thing for the Riders guys is 4 of the first 6 games are at home. So they get a chance as defending champions to be in front of that great crowd and get a real good start to the season. A couple of those games are going to be against the West. So it gives them a chance with a bye week in week 1, and then 4 out of the 6 to start the season at Mosaic Stadium. That's a pretty good schedule. I wouldn't have too many complaints if I'm Corey Mace right now.
And it's interesting that the first 2 weeks, there's 3 teams on byes, both week 1 and 2. So they're sort of showing, we know it's early. We're going to have, 3 teams on byes the first 2 weeks.
Yeah. There's some interesting, like that 4 games in one day. The bye week. We're starting the season with 3. Of course, we're going to have the World Cup, so that's going to change the dynamic in a big way. I'm telling you right now, I have a few requests that I always make for schedule. I don't really get a chance to pick my games. It's more complicated.
Come on.
No, I really don't. There's two standing requests for me for TSN, and
Labor Day.
Labor Day, as many Rider games as possible because I love going back to Sask.
Your buddy's here.
Yeah, and often doing some other things like talking to kids or whatever it might be. So I'd love to go back. So I always ask for that if it's possible. The other is for this year would be those back-to-back in Kelowna's for BC. I'm real interested to see, like, I would love to go up to Kelowna somehow, do the game, stay there the week, and then do the next week and see if I can pull that off.
Oh, that was such a brilliant.
About that, guys.
I thought the Lions were brilliant to have those 2 games at the Apple Bowl. I thought that was a stroke of genius. And what the Lions did there.
I don't want to say I called it early, but I was like, why wouldn't they play in Kelowna?
Smart. Very good.
It makes sense. Okay, because we're going to run the Craig Reynolds today, we don't have a lot of time. We got like a minute left here, Glenn. But I just want to get your thoughts on they announced it today, and I'm sure maybe it was done a couple days ago. But again, Jamarcus Hardrick is coming back for another year, and then also Davis Alexander, who was good until 2027, they re-up him till 2028. Just maybe a minute on both of those.
Yeah, and Cody Fajardo also signed.
Yeah, Cody too, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that last week, Barney, about Cody, and I mentioned that he really wanted to play again, so not surprised there. Great to get Hardrick back. I mean, there's your anchor you can build around, and playing at the top of his game. I don't care how old he is, he's at the top of his game. And for Davis Alexander, they believe they've got the next great player there, and there's a lot of ways you can make an argument for that, and they want to lock him in as long as they can. So again, not surprised to extend it, and it's basically the organization saying this is how much we want to make sure you're happy, because I'm sure there was some good money there, like Nathan Rourke probably level.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, we get more time on Thursday. I love these lyrics. JoJo was a man who thought he was a loner. Buddy knew he couldn't last. JoJo left his home in
Tucson, Arizona.
For some California. Okay. What? Grass. Everyone, he's a horticulturalist. He liked Bermuda. He could have learned some things, Glenn, from your front lawn out there.
I need his help. With my
people that don't listen to the show very often are like, what are you talking about? It's such a good joke. All right. Chat with you Thursday, buddy. See you later.
Okay. See you guys.
Right on. There's an abbreviated hit with Glen Suitor today. It's brought to you by Bronco Plumbing and Heating, where they'll treat you right. Your furnace acting up or anything, call the pros at Bronco Plumbing and Heating, 781-2090. Okay, come back. Quick ticker, and then Craig Reynolds, and we're just fast and furious here for the next little bit. It's a Sportscage on 620 CK.
Back to our regular spot, PumpJacks Cathedral.
You know, I thought PumpJacks was a kind of boot polish till last month.
What are you getting?
Kerwin's crispy ribs and a cold pint of local craft. Crispy, meaty, beautiful.
You had me at meaty.
Plus, we got live music on the weekends, big screens. This place is basically my second marriage.
And way cheaper than the first.
On the corner of Albert and 13th, PumpJacks Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. Come early, stay late. The place where friends meet.
Ever seen a cow in a toque or a sweater? You probably could. They're not fans of winter either. When it's freezing out, your herd still needs water. But good luck convincing them to trek half a mile through snowdrifts for a drink. That's where Keln Solar comes in. Their solar livestock watering systems let you drop a pump just about anywhere. No grid, no trenching, no drama. So let the cows stay cozy. You move the water. Keln Solar. They move water because your cows won't. Visit kelnsolar.com.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
All right, quickly, we just capped it off. The Riders will have a bye week in week 1 and then host BC in week 2. 4 Saturday home games, 2 Friday and 1 Thursday. Sportscage.com. If you want more on the Riders' schedule. They signed Jamarcus Hardrick to another year, as they did with Albert Awachi. Western Hockey League tonight in the Jaw. Moose Jaw taking on the Blades, 7 p.m. SJ Bruins, Yorkton, 7 p.m. in Yorkton. Melfort's at the Laurent Ice Wolves, 7:30. Female AAA in Weyburn. Gold Wings hosting Regina Rebels. The male side, Moose Jaws in Notre Dame. Both games at 7:30 there. National Hockey League Canadians hosting Tampa Bay. Ottawa plays host to New Jersey. Winnipeg welcomes Dallas, and the Oilers take on the Sabres. It's 4. Regina Steelcraft Doors. Made in Western Canada for Western Canada. If you need a garage door, Regina Steelcraft Doors. We're going to take a break. We come back. It's our interview with Craig Reynolds. It's a good one. Coming up after the break.
You hear those jingle bells? That means the holiday season is on its way. So it's time to start planning your work or family holiday parties. Leave the cooking to Western Pizza and enjoy all your Western Pizza favorites this holiday season. Call your local Western Pizza about catering or hosting your holiday get-together today. Western Pizza gift cards, saving holiday gift exchanges since 1976.
And get it hot and get it fast, Western Pizza.
If your garage door is running a little rough, you don't need to be talked into something that you don't need.
Sir, what you need is the new gigantic-esque, voluminous, astronomical, ginormous, gargantuan, exquisite air garage.
Just call Busy Bee Doors, the local experts who have been in business for many, many doors. They can fix or replace any commercial or garage door.
Wait. With me, you get a little garage door keychain, please.
Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262 for Prairie Land Rentals. Renting heaters, skid steers, and most power tools for all those winter jobs. And your official Husqvarna snow thrower dealer. Prairie Land Rentals, 600 Albert Street, where you deal with the owner. This is Sportscage. Watch our live stream at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
But we only have him for a while. So Don Hewitt, the professor, is here, like I said. Don, how's the week been? You went to Minneapolis.
I wanted to tell Craig about that little trip and then go from there if I could.
Craig Reynolds.
Could I start that?
Craig Reynolds is here. He's in the studio. Let's fly.